Happy Saturday, everybody. I guess I'll start by restarting the time. Let's put in... Yeah, I say 10 minutes of Pokemon Pinball should do it today. Hey everybody, I'm Super Train Station H, autistic gamer and writer, and we're going to be playing a little Pokemon Pinball before we get into Pokemon Red. We're going to be taking on Erica's dungeon, or gym. Well, I guess it is a dungeon, so to speak. Well, we just beat an actual dungeon, that being the Team Rocket base underneath the game corner in Celadon City. The one that you couldn't... Yeah, they make it so explicit, even as a kid. Like, not playing this for the first time as a kid in 1998, there was 0% chance of me missing what I was supposed to be getting up to in the game corner, aside from and the Clacka Boys saying happy second Saturday of December before Christmas. You know, for me personally, like, I headcanon winter as starting on December 1st. I guess technically, technically, I don't think it starts till almost right before Christmas, but, like, once it's December, you know, like, that's it. You know, once the leaves start changing colors, it's autumn. Once it's December, it's winter. And, it remains winter until I could go outside and not see my breath and not have to wear a jacket, and at which point it's spring. That's my, weather headcanon. And, we're pretty far along the way to catching this Psyduck. I got everything, all my business done before it started snowing, but I did not get to make it past Krispy Kreme, unfortunately. But I will, I'm definitely gonna drop by and get at least a couple of those donuts before the Peanuts Donuts, promotion ends. The Peanuts tie-in that Krispy Kreme is doing, that, me and Clacka Boy have been talking about for a few weeks now already. Come on. Nah, I think I already have a Psyduck anyway. That's my way of, sour grapesing this into justifying why it's not such a setback that I did not catch that Psyduck. Yeah, so we did not know at the time, when we were first playing this game in America, this music here ends up, I don't know if they already decided that it would be one of the main town themes for Pokemon Gold and Silver, but a calmer, less, like, upbeat version of this track will be used later on as a town theme in Pokemon Gold and Silver, but we're barely halfway done with Pokemon Red and Blue, so we'll focus on that for the time being. Alright. And, and Clacka Boy in chat is saying, I was playing the Pokemon theme song before the stream looks up. Oh, and actually, Clacka Boy in chat is mentioning how the original Japanese Pokemon theme music, yeah, they wrote a completely different song, but when I'm in catch-em mode, you'll notice it's a remixed version of the original Pokemon anime theme song in Japan. It's rather uncommon for the English language dub of an anime to use the original music, at least in terms of, like, when something's being broadcast for television in, like, the 80s and 90s. I know only about 5 or 6 years ago did I come to realize the Speed Racer, the Japanese theme for, you know, the classic, you know, 1960s Speed Racer series, it actually uses the melody from the Japanese intro sequence. Hold on. Yeah, it actually uses the Japanese theme music melody and wrote new English lyrics on top of it, which is a very uncommon practice. I can't think of many examples of that, but I know it was to the point where I was very surprised to learn that. Which I just learned, like, oh, I wonder what the Japanese theme to Speed Racer was like. And oh, it's the same melody. Da na 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 na. It's the same melody. They just wrote new English lyrics to it, which is and abbreviated it. They cut out about half the song. But yeah, if we can get back into Ketchum mode, you'll see that it's the melody from the Japanese Pokemon theme, which is something that I knew even back in the 90s, because there were Pokemon fan websites where you could download like an MP3 of like the Pokemon theme song, like of the Japanese version, and it was very low quality. You know, it'd take like an hour to download over your 56K phone line internet connection, but it was definitely, oh doggone, yeah. But when I played Pokemon Pinball, I was like, hey, I know this. This is the theme for the Pokemon anime that was used in Japan. It's a cool little Easter egg. Alright. For the sake of seeing if we can get back into Ketchum mode, let's play the blue table again. Yeah, and so I found a magazine from this time period. You know, yeah, from around this time period. For a change, it is not Nintendo powered, something completely different. I know I, for one, have not paid any attention to the Game Awards. All I know about the Game Awards is that their new Mega Man game was announced. A classic-style Mega Man game with modern graphics that they very easily could have given a number but chose not to for whatever reason. It's coming out in 2027, so it's not something they're just rushing out, which is good. I know they didn't announce anything that caught my attention so far. I don't even know what game won Game of the Year. I know they didn't announce the new Elder Scrolls anything, or new Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 anything. So, if there's anything major aside from that, I'm really not aware of it. I don't know, I like this Nidoran sprite a lot more than the one in the actual game. And it's a male Nidoran, just like we're raising in our game. He's a Nidorino right now. Alright, so if we can blink. Now, Kalaka Boy in chat is saying, according to Krispy Kreme, I have till December 24th to try out the Peanuts donuts. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to get over there before then. Yeah, but, you know, next week, Kalaka Boy and anyone in chat standing guard in my Silent Squad. My Christmas special is going to be this coming Saturday, the last Saturday before Christmas. I'm going to have my my Christmas stream. It's a kind of if anyone remembers my Christmas stream from last year, I kind of didn't go through with it fully. I kind of ended it prematurely this year. I'm going to play it out entirely, and I got a cool new game to play. A very cool new game that I'll be playing. Now it's a game that has appeared many times on my stream since like starting from January or like February or March 2024. I think like from February 2024 up until that spring. This game has appeared many times on my stream, but I never drew attention to it, never mentioned it by name. Now listen to this. Listen to this theme, Kalaka Boy. This is the theme from the Japanese Pokemon theme remixed. Hey Ezra's in chat, I see ya. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Da 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 na 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 na. Da 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 na. Da 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 da. We'll redeem ourselves for the side up we missed earlier. Nice. Ah, we've got a... Hold on. We've got our first redemption of the Game Boy Knight. Yeah, for there we go, just a little context for the Game Boy Knight there. Now, how long did you redeem that for? Okay, 10 minutes. Doggone, I let the ball fall. But hey, we caught the Psyduck. That's what matters. There we go. Alright. Yeah, not much momentum. I wasn't even there we go. Yeah, bounce it off those shoulder bumpers in the middle. Those 3 shoulders in the center serving as our pop bumpers. And I just realized the sort of theming of this table with a lot of water Pokemon, I guess because of blue. But the fact that Slowpoke is on the left and Shelder is on the right. Alright. So that does it for Pokemon Red. Okay, we're game over for now. Collectible chat saying it makes you think of the Virtual Boy. Yeah, it is kind of reminiscent of the Virtual Boy. Hold on. So, you just gotta switch games real quick. Oh, ironically enough, we already have that taken care of. Alright. Alright, so we'll play Pokemon in Game Boy Night mode for a few minutes. There we go. I got scared, like the sound wasn't coming in for a second. I'm like, game? Hello? Where's the sound? Okay. Yeah, now it's really Pokemon Red version. What is our timestamp right now? We are at 27 hours into this. And I believe I've done everything I could to avoid. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to check our Pokemon real quick. Yeah, we're good. You know what? Do we need to restock on items? 2 lemonades. Yeah, let's restock on potions. And Clagboy saying, what do I think of being able to play the Virtual Boy on Switch 2? You know what? I'm not even kidding. The ability to play Virtual Boy officially on Switch 2 is attracting me more to Switch 2 than any of the actual, like, modern Switch 2 games. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even exaggerating. Yeah, to have a means of, even if only in 2D, to play Switch, to play Virtual Boy games, you know, I believe it is effectively the entire North American release library, isn't it, of Virtual Boy games, that it was published by Nintendo. Yeah, we're gonna have to mash this button. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to do this 12 times. 1, 2. Actually, we're not gonna be able to afford that many. Okay. These, for their value, these are some of the best healing items in the game. Alright, so now... Soda Pop 3, Super Potion 1. How many revives do we have? We don't have any revives. Actually, we used them all up. Okay. That's, let's go downstairs and... I think one more floor down. This is the store. This is the floor with the game shop in it. Okay. I think this is the floor we need with our trainer items. May I buy? No, those are TMs. Ooh, transcendental meditations. The game's evil. You know, Collectible in chat is saying they think it's kind of funny but necessary to buy a new console in order to play an old one. Yeah, but you know, yeah, like. Like, between the ability to play Wind Waker on Nintendo Switch Online, to play the GameCube version of Wind Waker on Switch Online. Yeah, between the GameCube version of Wind Waker on Switch Online and Virtual Boy, like, I would find Nintendo Switch 2. If I got one for free right now, I'd be happy with it just for those things alone. Yeah, I'm far more interested in old games than new ones, and I do like to support when companies make games, their vintage games, available legitimately. Even if they are unofficial preservation efforts that I don't fault anyone for using, but yeah, let's go ahead and save, and then we'll go to Erica's gym and challenge that. Now for Erica's gym, we're probably gonna want to have I somehow suspect our Charmeleon is going to be the star of the show in Erica's gym. But we gotta go down here. Now, last time around, we went to the Team Rocket base beneath the game corner and got the self-scope that will allow us to identify the ghosts. The ghost Pokemon that are inside Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town to the east. But for now, okay. We need to get our next gym badge as well. I forgot I still had the alert for barrier aggression up there. Yeah, I remember being frustrated with, like, oh, you know, it's taking me weeks to get a double-digit view count on these barrier aggression videos, and I keep getting all this feedback from people who don't make videos themselves for the most part, saying, oh, your videos are too long, you need to make shorter videos, it's all about TikTok, people don't want to watch an hour-long video, they want to see something that's a few seconds long, and this and that. So I go to post on TikTok. My videos on TikTok are getting like 0 views over the course of several days. Maybe 1 view over the course of a week. And it's like, hey, I'll never complain about taking a week to get to double digits on YouTube again. And Clackaboy is saying, did I hear that Disney invested $1 billion in OpenAI? They'll allow users to use 200 Disney characters in short videos. Yeah, that's, I have a feeling they're going to regret this very quickly, no matter how many safeguards and limitations they try to put on it. Yeah, for a company that's so obsessed with protecting their brand image that they steal things from other companies and then sue the original companies for making their own version of their own thing, to just let random people, like, even... This is... Disney doesn't care about real life anymore, and I have no interest in Disney. Like, the most interest I have in Disney is going to the parks and eating the food, and I live nowhere near the park, so I'm not traveling there. I forgot to read her flavor text, the trainer I'm about to battle. Let's see, I'm sure it's a lass. Of course it's a lass, because, you know, this gym has beautiful women in it. Beauty wants to fight. No, excuse me, it's not a lass, it's a beauty. Yeah, we're gonna... You can potentially have a video showing a doorworm interact with Goofy. Yeah, I'd rather not. I could, but would I? Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we got poisoned. Yeah, it's easy to make fun of, aha, I'm super effective. Oh, wait. Oh, I got poisoned. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're going to go ahead and heal that poison. Hey, they tried to wrap me in, we'll use Rage. This, attack will carry on for a few more turns. About to use Bellsprout. Will change Pokemon? No, I will not. Yeah, I guess... Doggone. Yeah, I'm getting really bad rolls on these poison attacks that have been targeting me. Charmeleon's with poison. Yeah, so at least I wasn't able to deal the damage, but at least his attack went up. Building attack rows. Alright, Game Boy Night mode is over for now. But when the cooldown period expires, it'll be someone else could redeem it if they want. Charmeleon's rage is building attack rows. And nice, okay. Oh, okay. No! 1,006. Okay, we'll just go ahead and heal up real quick. Well, let's have some other Pokemon get leveled up. Uh-oh! Hey, Placaboy redeemed the new Sodor lore reading. What's new about it? I don't know, it's just to make it exciting. Alright. I'm gonna have to remove this from the dock. Alright. There we go. And... oh, that's our magazine. We want our... there we go. So this is lore from the world of Thomas the Tank Engine and friends for a little while. They relayed this line in 1820 with Fishbelly Edge Rail. We're reading about the history of the Skarloey Railway, by the way. They relayed this line in 1820 with Fishbelly Edge Rail and extended it up the Brengas Valley to the mine. It was called, quite simply, the Railroad, for there was no other in the whole island. It was considered a marvel in its day. From Krasny Kurin, a chain of 5 successive inclines strolled boldly up to Ward Fell, and the remains, much overgrown, can still be seen from the road north of the level crossing at Krasny Kurin. Following the Festiniog Railway's lead in 1863, however, improvements were made, for James Spooner was engaged to survey a line suitably graded for steam haulage. It was at first intended that this line, like its predecessors, should be a mineral line only. The valley it served was sparsely populated, and it was thought that perhaps one coach in addition to the set of Quarryman's coaches would suffice for local needs. When, however, during the survey, the long-forgotten lake and hidden hollow of Skarloey was accidentally rediscovered, the board's thinking underwent a change. Spas were popular at the period and offered the possibility of a lucrative passenger business. Skarloey's mineral springs and sheltered situation took hold on the minds of some members of the board, and among them, Seamus Turbach was convinced the idea of developing Skarloey as a spa. An hotel and a number of villas were built as a speculation, and the gravity work incline which had been installed for the conveyance of materials was retained and upgraded for coals, merchandise, and passengers' luggage. They renamed the line the Skarloey Railway, and a set of then most up-to-date passenger coaches were ordered from Brown Marshall, and the engines, numbers 1 and 2, were built by Fletcher Jennings of Whitehaven and named Skarloey and Rennius, respectively, after the two places to which they hoped to attract people with their publicity campaign. The illustrations produced in very old engines are by courtesy of the Illustrated Sodor News. For a few years the plan worked, but then apart from a few keen anglers and a steady trickle of summer visitors, numbers fell. This, though better than nothing, was far from profitable venture for which the promoters had hoped. This is my first time reading this, by the way. I'm actually learning this in real time with the rest of you. By 1900, there were signs that the veins of copper were beginning to run out, but miners searching for further copper in the foothills came upon good slate. The company's main interest was in copper, but they had no objection to using slate as a secondary freight. They lost interest, however, when the copper ran out at last and sold out in 1909 to a Mr. Handel Brown of Krasny Kurin. Mr. Brown was principal landowner in the valleys and prospective MP for Sodor East. Alright, I think we learned enough about the rich history of the island of Sodor for one moment. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled Pokemon. Let me just make sure everything's up to date. Yeah, everything's up to date. You're good. We're good. All right, let's continue on. And Azurest in chat is saying the Christmas shopping sucks. All the Sodor readings are sold out. It'll regenerate in a little while. I have it set up so that like multiple people can't redeem them back to back. So check back in like 20-30 minutes, and you should be able to redeem them with your XLO tokens, the inflation-free, non-legal tender digital currency of the future. Trademark copyright. We'll let's, just in case, just out of caution, we'll let's heal up. We'll heal up Charmeleon a bit. Yeah, I know people like the Sodor lore readings, but I don't want it to totally derail, derail the main gameplay. But about halfway through the stream, we will be doing our magazine reading. Oh, we didn't challenge either of these people here. I was getting bored. Okay, wait, I forgot to switch away from Charizard. Oops. I forgot to switch to anyone other than Charizard. I mean, Charmeleon. Okay. Oh, wait, no, we did. We switched. We'll use Horn Attack first. Doggone, we got paralyzed. Okay. It may not attack. You mean it may not be able to attack, but we didn't have the character space back then to express all of that. So the writing's a tad compromised. Hopefully this attack gets through and we knock out this Oddish. Oh no, we were fully paralyzed. And, nice, okay. First knockout of this battle. And gotta use Bellsprout. Now we'll keep going. The thing about paralysis, it's not like sleep or confusion where eventually it may go away on its own. Paralysis is going to be there till we cure it, using a healing item or a Pokemon move. I don't remember. I think there is like one and only one or two moves that can heal statuses like paralysis. But we're going to stick with Horn Attack for the moment. Yeah, usually NPC trainers that have larger numbers of Pokemon, relatively, tend to be lower level. And come on. Okay, I was about to say, if it does that again, I'm gonna be like, come on, can I please just like actually play the game? Alright. Hopefully it only lasts like one attack. Because Wrap is binding us, so until that attack stops, we won't be able to make any moves. You know what, we might as well. I might as well use this opportunity to heal the paralysis. Because we can't do anything else anyway, so we're not really losing a tempo. A tempo, not a tempo. There we go. So, if we... Alright, this is it's very reliably chipping away, but if we can get this Horn Attack in... Okay. Hold on, I gotta read a text real quick. Sorry. I thought it was something related to my professional life, and it was not. So, just go ahead and ignore that till the show's over. Okay, we're gonna send out Oddish. Let's give someone else a chance. Let's send out Gyarados. There we go. So... yeah, we still need to learn a fourth move, because Splash I'm considering officially kind of useless. Okay. I don't know who is going to get the boot for me to assemble my Sea Serpent team. Yeah, we're so, like... Yeah, the Bellsprout survived, but... Oh, doggone! Yeah, that's the thing about... Like, when I played the Pokemon trading card game, it was all about inflicting paralysis and poison. Even though that's a video game adaptation of a card game adaptation of the game we're already playing. No need to waste power points on that. We can just go ahead and finish this off with Tackle. Once we are not being wrapped up. Please. Oh, and by the way, did anyone, the title of my stream today, if I named it what I think I did, I named this stream a week ago and didn't check in on it, but if I named it what I think I did, then doggone, jeez. Can I please actually play the game? You're not going to win. This battle is very over. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, if I named this stream what I think I did, it is a reference to an early Yuji Naka game for the SG-1000. Oh my goodness, this is so annoying. If this was actually posing a challenge to my ability to survive this scenario, this would be more gratifying. But because there's no reasonable way I could lose this battle, this is just a waste of my time. Oh my goodness. Alright. Yeah, it's not even... Yeah, hey there, Ace Jim? Am I reading some Gundam implications into that name, or do you mean something else by GM? Yeah. For those who, I don't talk too much about Gundam on this oh, come on. Yeah, I played this back in 1998 on the original model Game Boy. So, I'm playing this on the Analog Pocket, using the mode that simulates the original screen of the Game Boy, so that's how I just have it set up for nostalgia's sake for me personally. And, I prefer to play using original cartridges, but honestly, like, any way means you have available to you. Oh, this is ridiculous. Alright. I am not wasting a potion on this. Oh my goodness. Alright, fine. Yeah, I know it's not everyone's thing, because if you played this with an emulator that doesn't simulate the original screen appearance of the old handhelds, or if you played this even on a Game Boy Pocket, in which case it would have looked a little more like this, which is how the game itself, I guess, theoretically would look, but the original model Game Boy, which is what I had back in the 90s, had a pea soup green screen. Maybe looks a bit like the Ancient Demon Pazuzu. Might have gotten sick onto it. Oh, come on. Really? Not a single one of these. Yeah, I like when emulators let you choose the filter. And I personally, I really just... I like the analog systems. Like, I'm using the Analog Pocket. This isn't my childhood cartridge from back in the day, but I love the fact that I was able to play my childhood copy of Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Gear as the first game I ever played on stream back in 2020 when I started streaming. I was very proud to be able to play the Sonic the Hedgehog on Game Gear, which is my first proper modern video game I ever owned and played. Meanwhile, But if you just have the ROM and an emulator on your PC, and you get gives you the experience you're looking for, that's perfectly valid. Like, I don't know. I feel like the sort of allure, the sort of, like, I guess sports car allure of high-end FPGA systems has kind of annoyed me. But no, just get the experience you want to play. Like, for me, the reason I have all these games, like, the reason I have a big library of NES games, I got my NES from my neighbor's garbage in 1998. This was, yeah, there's nothing special about it back then. It wasn't even a decade out of date yet. Or out of date in terms of still being something you could go to a store and buy, you know, as a current system, even though it was sort of obsolete at that point, but just as a low-cost option to the Super NES. So, if I could never afford the library of Game Boy and NES and Game Gear games that I have now if I were to start collecting today. I just got them back in the late 90s and early 2000s because I could actually afford that with my pocket money back then. Yeah, like Azure was saying in chat, I'm not a purist, and even if I was a serious purist, the Analog Pocket didn't exist back then. Yeah, I'm using originally manufactured cartridges from the 90s, but the idea of an FPGA multi-system thing, that didn't exist back then. Now, the closest I had sort of a renaissance with my Game Boy collecting in my college days, where my mom, she was at a Goodwill and she saw a red Game Boy Pocket and had the foresight to consider, you know what? I bet my son would like this. And I wasn't even really retro collecting at the time, but fortunately she got it, brought it home for me. And I never owned a Game Boy Pocket back in the day. I went straight from this original model Game Boy you see here to the Game Boy Color. Now, when I first played Pokemon on Game Boy Color, about the last 25% of the game, I actually played and beat for the first time on a Game Boy Color. The only Game Boy Color game that I had at the time was eventually Pokemon Gold and Silver. But just being able to play my monochrome Game Boy games on this higher resolution screen of the Game Boy Color was such a huge improvement to me that it was worth, it was worth the birthday gift slot getting my Game Boy Color, even though I didn't have any games specifically for it. I rented a few games, like I rented Tetris DX, I rented Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Hey, you are not allowed in here. Okay, Karen. The front door was unlocked. This is a public Pokemon gym run by the Pokemon League. Last sent out Bellsprout. Okay. Let's, if we could get... Yay! The sleep powder did not hit us. Okay. Hey, and that's exactly how that last battle against that Bellsprout should have gone. But he is Weepin' Bell, the evolved form of Bellsprout. We will not change Pokemon. We will stay the course. Aw, look at... Bellsprout's Pokemon Red Blue sprite does not make it look very appealing or endearing, but Weepin' Bell looks adorable. Yeah, so, I know, we had some new folks in chat today, if y'all are still around. Whether you're, and just to be clear, whether anyone is active in chat or standing guard in the Silent Squad, I deeply appreciate your presence. If anyone's new to the stream, I like to focus on historical aspects of the games I play. Doggone, I got paralyzed. So I'll often read the actual scans of the manuals for the games. If I played this game back in the, back decades ago in the 90s or 2000s, I'll recount my personal memories with it. We'll reread some magazines from around the time the game came out. Yeah, I know it wouldn't be very effective, but I figured it would be enough to knock them out, which is nice. We got our level up here. And H defeated Lass. Okay. Grass-type Pokemon are tough against the Water-type. They also have an edge on Rock and Ground-type Pokemon. So let's, let's put... let's use a Paralyze Heal. We'll use one of them bad boys. I have a feeling we're gonna go through a few of these, when we, fight the gym leader. Oh no, there's another trainer, a normal trainer over to the left, one of, Erica's disciples. I mean, disciples, it makes it sound like this is a religious thing. It's one of... Oh, and there are two... Oh, there are 4 girls, and the one in the middle with the unique sprite. The one right directly beneath my character sprite here, that's the one we're most concerned with, the one who has the badge, the one we have to fight in order to. Aren't you the Peeping Tom? I forgot that they... No, that's the creepy old guy outside the building. Yeah, Peeping Tom... Yeah, rated E for everyone, everybody. And yes, this is supposed to be a little like a brownie, like a Girl Scout. Junior trainer female sent out Bulbasaur. And Dragon Rage by meh. Yeah, let's... What? Subtlety? Why bother? You can just go straight for Dragon Rage. Alright. Knockout number 1. I have to use Ivysaur, the evolved form of Bulbasaur. Yeah, we'd be playing... If I chose Bulbasaur instead of Charmander at the beginning of the game, we'd have an Ivysaur we'd be playing with by now. And... Okay. Yeah, so even though it was the Bulbasaur that used Leech Seed that's knocked out now, the Pokemon that's active now of my opponent will still get the benefits of sapping energy, small amounts of HP from my own Pokemon as the turns go on. Yeah, let's do it again. Gyarados grew to level 28. H defeated Junior Trainer. I'm in shock. Got 480 for winning. Yeah, so you're just leveling up left and right. Let's move you. Yeah, we only have a couple of Pokemon that are still at level 27. But we'll go ahead. You have to manually go into the menu every single time, and it's after playing Pokemon Gold and Silver, it feels like a bit of a... Oh, okay, just walking through. Welcome to Celadon Gym. You better not underestimate girl power. Oh no, don't worry. I certainly didn't underestimate your abilities. Okay, so this girl with the whip, cool trainer female, these are the most advanced... These are the most advanced regular battles you can get into. They will use healing items, they will swap Pokemon mid-battle. They have fairly advanced strategies. They'll take advantage of their type advantages with their Pokemon. Yeah, they're actually pretty strong. Ah, we got paralyzed. And our... I feel like I'm just trying to figure out... Okay, yeah, we can't move because of Wrap. Yeah, a lot of these Pokemon that attack with vines have access to Wrap, which deals damage each turn and prevents us from doing anything. Which is fun. It's kind of like, when you're playing Mario Party 1 and the other players get, like, to play one-player minigames, you're sitting around. Now, when you're with actual people, of course, you could... Oh, come on. This is such a pain in the butt. Oh, this is gonna be a pain in the butt. Okay. Alright, I'm sick of this. We're swapping out with Charmeleon. You're gonna do that nonsense, huh? Hey, and the poison didn't work. We're going to use our Ember. We don't know Flamethrower yet, but critical hit, super effective. Trainer withdrew Weeping Belt, sent out Gloom. See, look, the typical trainers would not do that. I wonder, this game would be great if I would love a hack of this game where basically everything was the same except for every single regular character. Every regular trainer had the cool trainer logic. So they actually, like, played with some, like, modicum of strategy. They won't, a player with one Pokemon, you know, an enemy trainer with one Pokemon won't use self-destruct in their opening move, because that's the kind of things that the trainers with the lesser skilled AI in terms of, like, you know, how they behave will do silly things like that. Alright. And bam. Yeah, let's send out Beedrill. It's been a minute since we haven't used Beedrill for anything yet today, except for cutting down the bushes. All remaining. Yeah, Bug is super effective against grass, so yeah, because bugs nibble at leaves and ruin your flower garden or your vegetable garden and everything. About to use Ivysaur. Yes, let's send out Pikachu. Yeah. We're gonna actually have a full level 28 team. Is this actually happening? Okay. Thunder Wave. No, we're gonna use Quick Attack, get this over with fast before you start using Vine attacks on me. And good. Nice! Level 28. We're gonna have an all level 28 team. Ooh, beaten. Thanks for not being a spoil sport. Okay. But we're going to... Yeah, the tree grew back that fast. We're gonna have to go all the way... Okay, we're gonna have to go all the way back to... Yeah, we're gonna use the bike to get through this faster. And hear the special bike music. There you go. We'll heal up. Watch her put the Pokeballs down, run the machine, give them back to us. I never considered before, or if I have, I've forgotten about it. The way that you watch the Pokeballs individually go onto the, yeah, Jigglypuff's my last, yeah, Jigglypuff's my last my last Pokemon that's not at level 28. Yeah, alright. Okay, so we come down here, around, down. Cut the bush down. Thank you, Beedrill. And into the gym we go. We're gonna have to cut down that other bush. Alright, we'll save here. I don't expect anything bad to happen, but just in case. Fight this one next. Don't bring any bugs or fire Pokemon in here. No, you don't get to choose that. You don't get to choose that. Hey, Azurus, is that... Did you modify the little emote of me to be eating a little Pikachu cookie? Is that what I'm seeing down there? Is that what I'm seeing down there? In chat? Now, last one's fight. Oh, last sent out Oddish. No. Didn't affect. No, didn't affect us. Okay, we're just getting unlucky. Darn it, they poisoned us. Okay. Alright, how do you like that? Yeah, I never... yeah, I have no idea how to make a little Pikachu cookie. Eating some... yeah, so Azurest, you can't see it. Well, I definitely can see it, so it works. Whatever you're trying to do, it worked. Pound? Yeah, let's, and they're fast asleep. Let's hopefully knock them out before they wake up. I know I'm getting ticked down from poison damage, but nice. Okay. Got lucky on that last one though. I'm about to use Gloom. Let's have any... Let's send someone else. Let's have Charmeleon finish this with Ember. Charmeleon was poisoned. Okay. And you'll do a little damage to me, but I can... Yeah, there's no reason not to just go ahead and finish this. We'll get Charmeleon and Jigglypuff will get the XP split. Oh, you! Okay. Okay, well... Nah, that's overkill. We could use... What do we want to use? Yeah, I guess we'll use a Soda Pop on Pikachu, which only restores HP. It does not cure the poisoning, so we'll use our antidote for that. So we got 2. There's only one more regular trainer, and then we could fight, what's her name? Erica, the boss of this gym. The gym leader. I forgot... I have another Pokemon's poison. Pleased to meet you. My hobby is Pokemon training. That's like the most normal and sensible greeting we ever got. And then the actual character sprite looks like this evil, like, witch, like, mean girl chick. Okay. Alright. Okay, Barrage. It's one of those multi-hit moves. Didn't affect. She has one Pokemon, but it's pretty high level. Yeah, we might as well just, Oh yeah, Charmeleon was poisoned. Okay. Since you already have damage done to you, we'll, gained armor. Alright, so... Yeah, if it was not for that, oh wow, it actually, burned them. It's not every day that we, inflict that burn status. Rage. Yeah, I might as well just use Ember again. I don't want to mash my way through battles, but there is really no strategically better choice I can make with this Pokemon at that moment. Oh, splendid. 1820 for winning. I have a blind date coming up. I have to learn to be polite. Alright. I wonder who set her up on this. Okay. We'll use our other antidote on Charmeleon, and even though it's a bit overkill, Yeah, you might as well use. And then we have... Oh, I don't want to use my last soda pop. Yeah, it's overkill, but I'd rather use an item inefficiently and theoretically lose money than use this last soda pop. If I use this last soda pop, the next one's going to appear on the bottom of the list, and I'd have to scramble all my items around again to get my list how I like it. It's not like Pokemon Gold, where it's very easy to organize your bag around with different pockets for different types of items, so... Hello, lovely weather, isn't it? It's so pleasant. Oh dear, I must have dozed off. Welcome. My name is Erica. I am the leader of Celadon Gym. I teach the art of flower arranging. My Pokemon are of the grass type. Oh, I'm sorry, I had no idea that you wished to challenge me. Very well, but I shall not lose. Very calm. Are you sure? Like the way the ball is that Pokeball's floating, you'd think she was a Psychic type, but that's Sabrina's gem is going to be Psychic type. Wow, we've actually got Oh, doggone, jeez. Alright. Fell asleep, that's all I could hope for. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, let's swap you out. Clockaboy saying if I had any bubble tea drinks lately. Nah, not really. Yeah, it's been about a month at least. Even at my height in like the spring and summer, I don't go there to any bubble tea places so often. But poison sting, cut, twin needle. Okay, we want to use. We want to use a lemonade on Jigglypuff while we have the chance, and we'll start wailing on. Actually, we'll use focus energy first. Then we'll start. Yeah, Victorville is very clearly based on a pitcher plant, an infamous carnivorous plant. Wow. Okay. I was hoping for. I don't know. I don't want to complain, but I. Okay, we have Tangela, a new Pokemon coming out. Alright, so now we've got Poison Sting. Okay. We're gonna actually use... Yeah, Super Potion, yep. So that's, I'm not happy about that, but that is just an example of the sort of things these gym leaders and cool trainers are among the, they actually play, when you fight them, it's actually as though they have some sort of instinct to actually try to win against you. Whereas a lot of other trainers just do random stuff and really do more complex strategies like switching Pokemon or using items. About to use Vileplume. Yeah, for some reason the simplistic face on Vileplume's sprite reminds me of like some kind of early Gumby character. Doggone, we fell asleep. Alright. We will... Alright, not very... Okay, we're going to use Awakening. Only a few more times. Yeah, very relative... Possibly by the end of today's stream, we will have an item that will replace the use of Awakenings that will allow us to awaken sleeping Pokemon in our party. and we will no longer need to buy Awakening. But we'll get to that when we get to it. There's an whole other dungeon before we get to that point in the game. Alright. Hey, Beedrill grew to level 29. We didn't even need to use Charmeleon. Oh, I concede defeat. You are remarkably strong. I must confer you the Rainbow Badge. Got 2,871 for winning. Not 28,000. The Rainbow Badge will make Pokemon up to level 50 obey. It also allows Pokemon to use Strength in and out of battle. Please take this with you. Got HM 21. 21 contains Mega Drain. Half the damage it inflicts is drained to heal your Pokemon. You are cataloging Pokemon? I must say I'm impressed. I would never collect Pokemon if they were unattractive. Okay. Now we'll just cut our way out of here. Now, how much money do we got? We'll check our, yeah, we got, so we're officially, in terms of our badge count, we are now halfway through the game at this point. Yeah, in terms of badge count, we're now halfway through the game. Now, and after this, we need Beedrill services again. Yeah, so after this next dungeon in Lavender Town, there's sort of a branching path. I believe you have the choice as to which gym to do next. I know the way I went about it, but I'd rather go in the way that leaves me less over-leveled, I guess. Okay. And we, okay. Okay, got a couple of these. We'll go upstairs, buy a bunch of lemonades, and move on from there. And we do have some. We have 4 Great Balls. I think that's enough. I believe there's Ghastly and possibly Haunter are 2 Pokemon we can catch inside the Pokemon Tower, which is the next dungeon we're going to be doing. No, I did not. Doggone, I did not mean to buy that. Okay, I'm busy mashing. Gotta keep buying lemonades. And we'll see which, wow, can you believe we've been streaming an hour already. We already beat a Pokemon gym. Okay. Vending machine. Here's the and yeah, and you have to manually go down and keep buying them. But for our value, they are by far the best healing items you can get in the game at this point. Alright. I don't think I've shown off the elevator. Oh no, we can't use the elevator from here. We have to go down 1 floor. And now we can use the... Now, I didn't discover the rooftop square for a long time because you couldn't access it using the elevator. We're gonna go straight to floor 1. And it does not take longer. You just get the, the elevator vibrates for a minute and you walk out. It's not realistic in that, the further you go, the longer the ride is. No, they weren't thinking that far ahead. But it does save you time over doing it old-fashioned style and just walking down the stairs. Heal. Okay. Thank you, your Pokemon are fighting fit. We hope to see you again. And, I just thought of... I was just thinking back to Twitch Plays Pokemon. I mean, I know I think it's technically still exists, but it's not like, when it blew up as a fad, it's kind of amazing that Nintendo or the Pokemon Company didn't issue a cease and desist, because I was very clearly running on PC emulation. But fortunately they didn't, and we got a lot of good memes, a lot of good memories out of it. Okay, we need the self-scope we're gonna need. Paralyze heal. And I think, do we have awakenings? We're going to, actually we don't have awakening, but we're not going to rely on that. Very soon we're going to have an item that will permanently replace the need to purchase awakening. And we save the game, and we are heading underneath Saffron City and back over to Lavender Town. So we're gonna head east right now, using the underground tunnel, as opposed to the above ground tunnel, which I guess technically, depending on your definition of a tunnel, is a thing that actually exists, but okay, right when I was starting to get bored. Okay, good. And we'll head further east. And there we go. Yeah, we defeated all. I have been defeating every trainer I encounter as my personal policy. But now that we have the self-scope, we can actually go ahead and get started with Pokemon Tower. And now saving, and save the game. Okay, so we can't actually interact with these tombstones. Even we could not identify the wayward ghosts. A self-scope might be able to unmask them. You know, it's kind of interesting, these channelers, like, you think have more of a sort of spiritualistic view, but they're like, no, like, the latest high-tech gadgets could certainly identify these ghosts, even though we're supposed to be, like, spiritualist trainers. Nice. We got a wild Ghastly. That would have just appeared as a generic ghost that our Pokemon would refuse to fight otherwise. Became confused. It hurt itself in its confusion. Doggone. Let's see if we could inflict some status stealing moves, some status damaging moves. Okay. We can Thunder Wave. Alright, I think normal type attacks don't. Now, the Ghastly line is the only ghost Pokemon in this entire game, which is kind of wild, but so a total of 3, strictly speaking. Okay. Even though, if I was just trying to defeat this Pokemon, I'd be very annoyed, but I'm actually kind of glad that, we have a Pokemon that can deal damage without instantly knocking it out. Come on, Pikachu. Yeah! Use that Thunder Shock. We're gonna use Thunder Shock once more and start throwing Pokeballs. Because he's... Come on, come on. Doggone! Ah! Yes, we'll use another Pokemon. I don't think... Okay, yeah, that didn't even affect them. And... Okay, so... If we... Let's start throwing Pokeballs. We have some great balls. And... Nice! First try! Ghastly was caught. New Pokédex sale will be added for Ghastly. Almost invisible, this gaseous Pokemon cloaks the target and puts it to sleep without notice. Do you want to give a nickname to Ghastly? No. Ghastly was transferred to Bill's PC. We will, revive... Or that Pikachu. No, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. And now... Yeah, unfortunately we don't get experience points for catching Pokemon. That's not something they fix until Gen 6, believe it or not. And I'll be surprised if we even play through Gen 3 on stream, ultimately. Gen 3 is the last... Gen 5 is the last generation of Pokemon that I'd be interested in actually playing on stream. Anything more modern than that is like... And the thing is, that's a DS game, and since those games, none of the Pokemon games came out on the Wii U Virtual Console. So, be gone, evil spirit. Yeah, you think I'm possessed, don't you? Chandler wants to fight. Yeah, now we gotta... Yeah, we're just sending these guys out here and immediately switching to just about anybody else. Because Jigglypuff's only damage-dealing move is a normal type move, which does nothing to ghost-type Pokemon. And... yeah, nearly... I think the only other move we've got on here is Tackle that deals damage. No, we have Bite. That's which is yeah, Bite in Gen 2. Bite would work against Ghastly, but in Gen 1, Bite is a normal type move and not a dark type move. Tackle is also normal type, so we're actually just gonna go ahead and finish this off with Dragon Rage, as extra as that may seem. Ghastly fainted. Got 220. And yay, Jigglypuff finally grew to level 28. H defeated Chandler. Whew, the spirit left. My friends were possessed too, so it's actually the Chandlers that were possessed. It's a little dark. Yeah, I think it's time to pull an Exorcist. And it ain't me, but I guess I'm gonna have to do. Chandler sent out Ghastly. And I wanna... yeah, we might as well just, no, I don't think this is going to be... This might take a few turns, but if that... Hey, if you could use Paralyzed. Yeah, I don't feel like using a Revive right now, so... And Confuse Ray. Of course, of course. Now, will this attack make it through? I can't wait to see. I don't want to use Rage, because that's a normal type attack, and I'll be stuck using it for several turns, dealing no damage all the while. Ghastly used the Lick. Charmeleon is confused. Oh, doggone, it hurt itself. Okay. And Confuse Ray failed. I believe Confuse Ray is set up so that if you use it twice in a row, the second time will always fail. And then I think, like, Nightshade takes out like a set percentage of damage. It's not a move that can usually knock out an opponent if they have full HP. It's kind of has some interesting conditions around it, if I remember correctly. Let's use Grow. Alright. They're fully paralyzed. We're no longer confused. Ember should... okay, good. Now, Clackaboy in chat is saying that they were visiting Disneyland last week. Visiting one of their hotels, they saw a huge gingerbread house display. There was an employee fixing some damage. Apparently a child broke off a bunch of candy canes. Oh my gosh, like, doggone. Like, I would be so embarrassed Well, first off, I wouldn't have a kid. Second, if I had a kid, I would do everything reasonable within my power to make sure that they understand not to do some dumb crap like that. You know, gingerbread is often, like, I know the typical thing to do is to use graham crackers, which is fine, but, like, gingerbread and graham crackers aren't gingerbread. Now, what I need to do when I get a problem with a proper kitchen is get some actual original graham flour and make original graham bread, because graham crackers and that you buy in the supermarket are very rarely made with actual graham flour, which is a particular type of flour. What am I doing? Sorry, I was possessed. Yeah. Oh, don't, we just, okay, we just, took on a terrorist group. And, are we in the Pokemon Tower? Yes, Farron Boy, we are in Pokemon Tower. And in fact, Alright. Yeah, we beat Erica's gym, we beat the Pokemon, we beat the Team Rocket base beneath the game corner, and we got some new redeems going. We got our Sword or Lore reading redeem back. Now, Clackaboy in chat saying they'd love to see me bake some Doorworm gingerbread. That would be adorable, because the cool thing is that the eyes could just be like some frosting with a couple of gumdrops in them, maybe. Like, 'cause since the eyes aren't physically attached. And we're just going to, this one's under level 20, so I'm basically just considering this free EXP. Nice. No, so Farron Boy, earlier today, me and Clackaboy were talking about how the ability to play Virtual Boy games and to play GameCube games on the Switch 2 is more attractive, does more to me to get me to potentially consider getting a Switch 2 than any actual, like, Switch 2 title, which is kind of wild. Let's have Gyarados have a little fun. Yeah, and, you know, it's kind of funny. This is only the third or fourth time. This can't be more than the fifth. This has to be the fifth time max that I will have played through this entire game since the early 90s. And yeah, Bite is, Bite is a normal type move in Gen 1, so we're gonna have to use Dragon Rage. Seems a tad extra, but, So, Farron Boy, do you remember the first time you played through this game? Did you, go and liberate Saffron City first, or did you go south and fight Koga? Because I believe you have an option to do either or, and I forgot which way. And I don't know if you've seen this before, Farron Boy, but I've got this cool setup where, this is, for Sword or Lore reading. But, I've got the manual right here. We read that when I started this playthrough last October, October 2024, I mean. But I could bring up the, Pokemon Player's Guide, right here. And we have, looked through, we have consulted it a number of times already. But, for now. Yeah, because, like, I think in terms of the, like, geographically, you'd probably run into Saffron first, but because of the way the underground paths are, and I did not keep the town map in my item list, so I just kind of overlooked the fact that there was an entire town I was, like, bypassing, and I went south and did the whole Safari Zone scenario first, and the Gold Teeth, and then fighting Koga. But we're gonna go ahead and, get our free EXP. Jigglypuff. Now, let's take a spot check. We've got our, we've got to heal up Pikachu a bit. Yeah. Having a bit of a rough time. But, yeah, and of course, these are the best healing items in the game, but they're in only one city of the game in a very inconvenient place at the top floor of Celadon Department Store. And on top of that, you have to manually, like, you can't buy them in bulk. You have to manually buy one at a time. Yeah, I remember, I understood that I had to find the gold teeth, but it took me I was stuck for a few days trying to actually... Ah, it's Cubone. I forgot that they were in here. I forgot that you could fight these in here. And I believe they are not particularly common. I don't want to accidentally knock this guy out. But I believe they'll hold on. Okay. Critical hit. If I don't have a whole lot of Pokeballs. I'm gonna risk it. Nice. Okay, great. Okay, this is best case scenario. We only have a couple of great balls. Now, Fanboy's saying they haven't completed a playthrough since the 90s. They start a new yellow playthrough every few years to get like 4 gems in. Okay, I did my original playthrough when I got the game in 98. The pastor's son, I let him play it for a few minutes. He was actually a couple years older than me. I mean, it sound like, but they saved over my file, so I had to play through again. That's my second playthrough. Then I didn't complete another playthrough until late high school. I got all the way to Cinnabar Island, and then my save battery died. And that wasn't with my original copy anymore. That's a copy I bought for a few dollars from a GameStop or something. Then I played through from beginning to end in like 2008, and this is the first time I played through since then. So this is, I think, the 4th or 5th time in total. And I do count the time when I got all the way to Cinnabar because I did intend to beat the game. I was very clearly going to. But let's, we have 3 of these bad boys. Okay. And, no! We did it! Nice. Okay. Because it never removes its skull helmet, no one has ever seen this Pokemon's real face. Do I want to give a nickname to Cubone? A million different, like, mean, orphan-related names came to mind, but we're not doing nicknames in this playthrough, so we'll just leave it at that. Save right here. Now, Farronboy in chat is saying they think their last playthrough got through Mount Moon and got busy with school and stopped playing. Yeah, that's how these playthroughs tend to go. You know, and it's kind of interesting, because geographically, I feel like you're sort of led into fighting Koga first. But if you look at the status screen here, I mean, if you're geographically, you're more likely to encounter Sabrina next, but the status screen lists Koga as the numerically the next one you're kind of meant to fight theoretically. I'm gonna look in the players guide. Actually, we can sell this right now. I'm interested, and I'm interested to see. So Lieutenant Surge, Lavender Town, Celadon City, Game Corner. We did this last stream, the Game Corner dungeon. We fight Erica. It has us go to Pokemon Tower. We already fought Gary before we even went to Rocket Game Corner. And yeah, the official player's guide is recommending that we go to Saffron City first. Wow. That's very interesting. But I mean, geographically, in terms of like where you would typically be led to by the nature of the game design, I feel like that's the more obvious choice. It's kind of odd that I ended up deciding to go to, I know, and like I said, you know what? I went south because I kind of forgot that Saffron City was even meant to be in the game. Is there a level difference? I'm sure... If the... You know what? We could check that out, too. We could check that out, too. Hold on. We could check that out as well. So, let's see... Sabrina. Can you do... It's implying that we should do the gym leader before we do the Silphco liberation scenario. Let's see, 38, 37, 38, 43. And then Koga is 37, 39, 37, 43. You know what? 37, 39, 37, 43. 38, 37. It's kind of 6 and... You know what? I really do sincerely believe, based on the levels of the two gym leaders, that they kind of intended Saffron and... In terms of, at least in terms of the gym battles, of Saffron and Fuchsia to be interchangeably. To like be able to be played in any order. Because we only... I don't know, it's interesting. I would sooner... Because I feel like between... We did the Game Corner thing. We did the Game Corner Team Rocket base and Celadon. Now we're doing the Pokemon Tower, which is like Team Rocket related. To go to Saffron City and do another Team Rocket related scenario... I don't know, I feel like I'd sooner rather go south to, I don't know, I will actually flip a coin. I will actually flip a coin. And we don't need the XP right now. Yeah, but we will switch you further down the list to remind me that, yeah, I figured you'd battle me. Erg! Erg! Awa! Hoo-hoo! Grah! Trying to type out these, like, possessed grunting noises without seeming too scary is, quite an exercise in localization. Yeah, we're going to... Yeah, that's the cool thing. I think Ghost and Normal type are mutually ineffective against each other in terms of dealing physical damage. But, Baronboy's saying they distinctly remembers the kid seeing the badge list and looking at Blaine thinking that they were going to fight an alien later in the game. Oh, the bald head looks sort of like the classic gray alien. You know, I was talking about how odd it is that in the game, Blaine is depicted as like a white lab-coated scientist guy, but in the anime, he's kind of depicted as like an old hippie type guy. It's a very like different characterization and character design I thought was kind of odd. So, yeah, we're gonna use... They're still asleep, so we're going to... Yeah, I'm gonna shock the heck out of this Ghastly before they wake up, hopefully. Nice, okay. Ah, they woke up, doggone. Okay, let's make this fast then. Oh, certainly faster than that Ghastly. Ah! Okay. If you can overcome the RNG Pikachu, you're gonna... Yeah! We dealt with this battle with 0 damage inflicted. Wow, I'm saved! Nice, okay. The ghost can be identified using the self-scope. H found escape rope. Alright, now on to the next floor. I believe there's a healing, a zone up ahead. One of the few, like, in-dungeon healing zones in Gen 1. And, yeah, let's just get out of here. I'm doing my Christmas stream a week from today, next Saturday. I'll be running some, we're gonna be doing a Christmas watch party of some material that I will not get in trouble for running on Twitch, especially if I make sure I delete the VOD afterwards. And then after that, we've got a play date with a very special console that there's very little coverage of that's been preserved on Twitch. It's a current gen system. It's not a retro system, but it's not a system we hear about a lot. And I'm definitely going to be the only person streaming that system. So Mafia movie watch party. Actually, no. And so the Mafia movie, after being on YouTube for almost 20 years, I guess like the AI content filter detected it as actual footage of actual criminal activity. And I appealed it, saying it's clearly just me and my friends screwing around in our backyard with dollar store toy cell phones. But the repeal was instantly rejected, and my account on YouTube is in warning status, and I have to complete like this content sensitivity course with like anti-bullying like lessons in order to get my account out of warning status, and I haven't bothered to do it yet. And I'm not a big enough YouTuber to actually get in contact with a human being. Like when they are like officially posted R-rated movies on YouTube, there's no way like a bunch of teens screwing around in their backyard pretending to be mob guys is like inappropriate content. But yeah, and fortunately, no, what got deleted was the single video of it all being in one thing. When it didn't like block, it like blocked the video to the point where I couldn't even save the video. If the only copy I had was on YouTube, it would be lost, and it won't even, like, it's like, no, F you, you're never looking at or recovering this video again. And fortunately, I had another posting of it that was older, from back before YouTube let you post more than 10 minutes at a time, where the Mafia movie was in 2 or 3, like 20, like 10 or like 9-minute segments. So I downloaded those, and I'm gonna have to merge them and post them on another site somewhere. In fact, I probably should take those down before it like tries to strike me for having another copy of the video up. It's like really ridiculous. But Chandler wants to fight. Chandler sent out Ghastly. Yeah, but yeah, the video, it's not going to be Mafia movie. It's some Christmassy and a Christmas special of something obscure and obtuse that never, and yeah, it's some Christmas content, and we're gonna be playing a fun idle game. And Clackerboy saying, would I do Virtual Boy streams if I got a Switch 2? Absolutely. Now the hurdle is me getting a Switch 2. I entered in a couple of sweepstakes to try to win a Switch 2, but it's not something I would buy with my own money. Absolutely not at this point. Okay, we'll start. Yeah, Azra saying, implying that a certain man in a red suit might perhaps bring me a Switch 2. But I think Dr. Robotnik is too busy turning animals into robots to give me a Switch 2. If that's what you were getting at. I know, I'm being cute. Okay. Alright, how about... Yeah, I don't feel like dealing with this. We'll bring out Charmeleon, who, for once, is not grossly over-leveled. You know, in terms... You know, because I think, being one of my first RPGs I ever played, and being unfamiliar with leveling up and team building, I just played mostly with my starter, who was grossly over-leveled. And Farronboy saying, gotta start on dinner. They'll be back and forth from the stream. Okay, well, tell everyone you may be enjoying that dinner with that I give my best wishes. And thanks for dropping in. Amber. Yeah, we're gonna use Ember. Because I don't have any other damage-dealing moves that aren't normal type. Doggone, we got confused. Not even trying to, Alright. We got damaged. Okay. Great. Please, let me just get this attack in. Please deal the damage. Confused no more. Nice. Okay. Because we could have gotten through the paralysis and still damaged ourselves from the confusion. About to use Ghastly. Will I change Pokemon? Yes. We'll send out Beedrill. Super effective. Now, okay. H defeated Channeler. What? We can't crack the identity of the ghosts. You literally specialize in training Ghastlies. You really... Now, somewhere around here. I believe it's through here. There we go. Okay, you're not possessed. Come, child, I sealed this space with white magic. You can rest here. Entered Purified Protected Zone. H's Pokemon are fully healed. Okay. We'll go back downstairs and, defeat the rest of the, channelers down here. Would I like to save the game? Yes, I would. And... uh-oh. What do you have to say? Ghost! No! Okay. Alright. So after this battle, let's see if we could put... Nice, we put the Ghastly to sleep. I'd say sometime after we, maybe after we clear off this floor. Yeah, actually, I'm being wishy-washy, but my intention is that sometime before the hour's up, we're gonna go to our magazine reading section. The first half of our magazine reading section, we're going to go to, actually, in anticipation of that, why don't we try something new? Why don't we go to Retro? There we go. I'm a much smaller, a very tiny fish in a much bigger pond in Retro, but I feel like when we're going from playing Pokemon specifically to, doing a retro magazine reading, you know, it fits more of the variety nature of this particular stream, so... But we'll, maybe after this battle. Maybe after this battle we'll, and we'll get through half of the magazine, do our midstream break, do the other half, cover the other half of the magazine, and get back to Pokemon. Hey! Azurest redeemed Sodor lore reading. Let's see. We gotta, well, I gotta lift... We gotta... Okay, so... And... There we go. So, for anyone who's unfamiliar with Sodor lore reading, we're gonna read a bit of deep lore from the world of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, from its original creator, Reverend Wilbert Awdry. So I'll read for just a couple minutes. By 1900, there were signs that the veins of copper were beginning to run out, but miners searching for further copper in the foothills came upon good slate. The company's main interest was in copper, but they had no objection to using slate as a secondary freight. They lost interest, however, when the copper ran out at last and sold out in 1909 to a Mr. Handel Brown of Krasny Kurin. Mr. Brown was principal landowner in the valleys and prospective MP for Sodor East. Slate boomed during World War I, but slumped badly afterwards. Mr. Brown nevertheless kept quarries and railway going for the sake of his tenants. Sir Handel, he was created a baronet in 1937, died in 1950, and his son, now Sir Handel II, inherited an estate crippled by death duties. Much as he would have liked to be able to, he could not afford to take his father's philanthropic view of the dubious bundle of assets he now held. During World War II, the old mines had been commandeered for ammunition dumps, and the line was worked to the limit, providing slate for blitzed houses and pit props for mines. The borrowed locomotives in stock had now gone, and his own locomotives, rolling stock and track, were shockingly run down. Sir Handel, however, had a fine manager in Mr. Peter Sam. Backed by his foreman, Ivo Hugh, believed in the line and was convinced that it had a future. They persuaded Sir Handel to delay closure for a year. During that year, Renius, the one serviceable locomotive, was carefully nursed and carried the whole burden of traffic. But this epic heroism would have availed little if not had been for two discoveries. One, in the hills near Renius, a new and hitherto untapped bed of slate, entirely free from metallic impurities and thus in demand for many other purposes besides roofing. And two, the discovery among the muniments of Ulfstead Castle, a tattered copy of a document hitherto believed lost, the Book of Sir Harold, an epic poem in Sudric about the exploits of Sir Harold Marin, regent of Sodor, from 1263 to 1275. A careful study of which suggested that Skarloey was the sacred sanctuary to which he on occasion retired, and from which time after time he engaged with devastating force to fight invading Scots to a standstill. When digs undertaken by the Sodor Archaeological Society found supporting evidence, interest grew, and passenger traffic with it. So, now you know a little bit more about the world of Thomas the Tank Engine. And, well, actually, now we got to, let's put the... Are we mid-battle? I think we were mid-battle. Once we complete this current battle, we'll move on to our, Oh, come on. I'm just waking the analog pocket back up. If this was the kind of game where you could just pause the game and actually just stop the music, I would have, just left the system on the dock. There we go. Drop that bad boy on the dock. Yep. You know, Skarloey and Renius, which are the names of places. Skarloey means lake in the woods in Sudric, and Renius means divided waterfall in Sudric. Oh yeah, Pikachu was, this mouse was beating the crap out of this ghost. There we go, knocked out. And defeated Chandler. Where is the ghost? Yeah, let's save. Yeah, we'll quit the game for now and move on to our magazine reading portion for the moment. There we go. There's our... And so where's our music? Where's our music? I gotta turn it on manually. Hey, just in time for the super locomotive rendition of Rydeen. But so this is from 1999, Electronic Gaming Monthly. This is a magazine. This is a particular issue that I did have back in the day. Electronic Gaming Monthly, covering South Park, you know, the first-person shooter. PlayStation 2 details revealed. See page 35. So, covering Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Dreamcast, 16-bit. Yeah, at the time, even by 1998, 1999, the 16-bit systems, the Genesis, the Super NES, felt like ancient history. Even just one generation back, I remember, in that context, playing a Super NES or Genesis game really was treated as retro, even just one generation later. The jump from 2D to 3D just seemed so revolutionary and game-changing, and it really was, but handhelds in the abstract, really basically just meaning Game Boy and arcades. Games featured Sonic Adventure, Ridge Racer Type 4, Castlevania 64, Duke Nukem Zero Hour, Beavis and Butthead, SF Alpha 3, Rayman 2, Blue Stinger, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, and Tetris Deluxe. We have an ad for Crash Bandicoot Warped, Battle Tanks. I think this might be a game that, okay, my PDF reader is glitching out. It's is it crashing? Okay, it's not. It is not crashing. So, Happy New Year and stuff like that. This month's Slick 50 feature is something we've been looking forward to putting together for the last few months, so we often find things happening throughout the year. Alright, so what is this quote here? So this is just talking about the state of the game industry. Okay, let's face it. If Nintendo will let the words, piss, ass, bastard, and, MF, bleeped out obviously, screamed in a game while the player is shooting a turkey in its tail hole with a gun that fires toilet plunger, things must be moving in the right direction. Yeah, Nintendo. Game content is maturing. Zelda and Metal Gear are out and will change things forever. Yeah, so yeah, Nintendo is actually, yeah. This game, I forgot about this. This is a game I've not thought about in probably since the last time. I think did I rent this game just once or something? So, this game is called No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. And, I don't know, I have no idea what kind of game it is, but you have an ad for Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And, Warzone 2100. I never played this game. Yeah, so, praise the Lord, pass the ammunition. Apocalypse. An original... You know what? I forgot this existed. Yeah, it's just a PlayStation game with Bruce Willis that's not based on any existing property. Yeah, praise the Lord. I guess did he record voice lines for this or something? Because it's not... When I saw Bruce Willis, I'm like, this looks a bit like Armageddon, but but it's yeah, it's not Armageddon, it's Armageddon featuring Bruce Willis, not to be confused with Apocalypse starring Bruce Willis. The Slick 50. Yeah, you saw the South Park game, you saw this ad for... Okay, so this is an ad for the PlayStation version of Abe's Exodus, whereas last month on Nintendo Power we saw the ad for the Game Boy version. So let's check out some of these letters. I can't help but wonder why so many hardware companies are so unwilling to give in to the demands of consumers. Many of us want Japanese games to make it to American shores like RPG Maker and the Phantasy Star Collection. The major companies rarely listen to us. Sometimes they get away with it, sometimes it comes back to bite them on the ass. Remember what happened on the infamous Mortal Monday? Nintendo helped Sega sell a ton of Genesis machines because the Super NES version of Mortal Kombat sucked. It looks like both Sega and Nintendo could learn from that point of history. And just frustrated with... Don't forget, you're getting a lot of Japanese games now, like Metal Gear Solid or Zelda 64, but it sounds like you're more concerned about the less popular sleeper hits. A few publishers, working designs. Yep, so they got a free controller from their sponsor. Nintendo Tale. Remember the good old days when Nintendo was the #1 gaming company? How the mighty have fallen. Sooner or later, great empires fall and eventually wither away, giving way to a new generation eager to... Nintendo over the last year has been falling into an ever falling into a pit of despair since the betrayal of Sony, the once loyal servant of Nintendo. Nintendo's death. They're calling this the death of Nintendo, really, just because. Okay, fine. All right. Yeah, so that's just an interesting, comment on the. Funny letter, but we don't think the company that created Mario, Metroid, Zelda, etc. will be staying down forever. Mark our words, Nintendo will claim its former glory someday. Alright. But it is an interesting evaluation of how Nintendo failed to read the market. And, yeah, so this is an ad for Xenogears. A game which arguably, I think technically, indirectly... Not, like, I think, like, the Xenoblade games have, I think the Xenoblade team, the team within Squaresoft that made this game, Xenogears, eventually made the Xenoblade games, but they're not, like, officially related because the copyrights for the Xenogears name stayed with, yeah, I never played this, but it had an interesting art style. I'm very interested. I always wondered... I would love a game, like an RPG with mech battles and stuff. I always, was kind of interested in, Xenoblade Chronicles X. So Roll Away looks like a Marble Madness type game. Ask Sushi X. Yeah, it's some more letters. Now this is interesting. This is... the first time, I was in, where I was really following closely the news of a new system, and we have coverage of the Dreamcast right here. Sega held a Gamers Day on November 5th in San Francisco to give the press an extended look at the Dreamcast prior to the Japanese launch. So this is 98. Sega's continuing efforts. The system will come with a 33.6 kilobit modem. The determination has been made for the US market. We strongly suggest to Sega that it would be a smart idea to include it. Its multi-out on the back will include composite S-video and RGB outs. GD-ROM is a proprietary format. It has... Yeah, so it's basically just an overview of... on load time, it's about the same as the PlayStation. So it's just an overview of the... So we got some first rumors of the PlayStation 2. Now Nuon. Nobody understands NUON. Nobody understands our new technology. Yeah, that's very little news coming out of VM Labs, except this tidbit. The company has officially changed to the program from Project X to Nuon, a name that VM Labs hopes will become synonymous with the future of digital entertainment. To christen the name announcement, VM Labs opened a new site, nuon-tech.com. I'm betting it's like an adults-only website or something at this point. Yeah, so basically what this was, Nuon was a game hardware platform that... certain DVD players would have, Nuon compatibility where they could play games for this system. Rogue Trip. Looks like a Carmageddon, Twisted Metal kind of thing. Never played it myself. Life After Zelda. Now that he's finished Zelda 64, Nintendo's infamous game designer reflects. After James After having spent so much time living and breathing Zelda Ocarina of Time, it's about to arrive in gamers' hands. Miyamoto is saying, I very hope they could say, I've never played a game like this. I want them to feel as though they're visiting a place called Hyrule. JM. What's the hardest part about bringing Link and Zelda from the world of 2D into the world of 3D? Miyamoto says the most difficult part was to realize a 3D virtual world. It's difficult to give the best 3D angles so the players don't experience frustration. The game must remain fun to play. JM saying, leading up to Zelda, you had plenty of time to discover the in and outs of working with the N64 hardware. During this time, you admitted to keeping an eye out on Rare and the increasing quality of its products. As a result, have you developed ideas for the future that haven't been done before? Zelda timing was delicate. Developing the game, we would discover new things all the time. For comparison's sake, Mario 64 used about 60% of the N64's power, whereas Zelda probably used about 90%. There's definitely room for more. Yeah, so it's just a simple little interview there. Yeah, so, oh yeah, the Final Fantasy movie. Yeah, The Spirits Within. Yeah, I remember in like 2000 or 2001 when that came out. I know a lot of people. I know there was like, I don't know if it actually happened, but there were calls within the Screen Actors Guild. I don't know if it was, I don't know if SAG followed through on it, but there were talks in the professional world of people like boycotting, of like a professional boycott of this movie, because it's like, oh my gosh, like they're trying to replace actors with, you know, these animated things. What are, you know, we have to boycott this movie or this will become more widespread. And looking back at like, even by PlayStation 3, like the consoles that were released around 2006, even the first generation of HD consoles was probably on par with, if not better than, like the graphics in the Final Fantasy The Spirits Within movie. So, it's David. Wow, this is the oldest picture of David Hayter I've ever seen. So, yeah, I have an ad for Spyro the Dragon. Yeah, Under the Hood for Game Boy Color. Game Shark Color. Alright. We have Trouble in Dreamcast Land. Early delays plagued the Sega's Japanese launch. It's kind of funny because, yeah, because when it comes to the American launch of Dreamcast, they had a very strong launch, actually, on September 9th, 1999, the infamous 9/9/99 launch of the Dreamcast. Now, so yeah, we got a long expired coupon for Twisted Metal 3. Abe Goes to Hollywood. Oh, this we need to check. I'd like to thank all the Madukans who've helped me get here today. Abe should be practicing his acceptance speech for Oscar night. Oddworld Inhabitants recently entered a short animated film based on the Abe's Exodus video game into the Academy Award consideration. It follows the quest of Abe as he tries to save his kind from extinction at the hands of an oppressive society. Oddworld Inhabitants comes from a background in the TV and film industries. Yeah, I don't think they, what I just noticed is cool. So these guys are called Sligs, if I remember correctly. They're one of the main enemies. Enemy creatures, enemy races you fight in the Oddworld games. Now, they don't have lower... They're just like a pair of arms with this slug-like upper body, but they have these mechanical legs. But I just noticed that they have sort of these hydraulic cylinders on the lower part of the leg. It's a really cool design, very sort of practical design for what this is meant to be. Hi, this guy looks like Giran Zabi. Looks like Giran Zabi with tattoos. Oh, he's from Tekken 3. I wouldn't know any. The only character I know of Tekken 3. Oh yeah, this is for Taifu. Wrath of the Tiger. It's an action. Like, I think this is a beat 'em up featuring animals. That's sort of based on the Chinese zodiac. If that's even what it's actually called. I just know that's what it was probably called back, what it was typically called back then. So Backstreet Billiards, Sonic Adventure. I would remember just drooling over screenshots of this game. It looked like such an amazing advance over Mario 64. And after Sonic Extreme for the Saturn got canceled, this is really we're finally going to actually see Sega make its proper debut in 3D. I believe Tomba is a remake of this is available digitally now. So we've got Castlevania, got some N64 previews here. Nightmare Creatures, we saw the ad for that. Magical Tetris Challenge. Still a surprisingly fun game. I mean, it's Tetris. You can't really screw up Tetris. Oh wow, I did not know there were Turok. I didn't know there was a Turok toy line. A little violent for something by a company called Playmates. Duke Nukem 0 Hour. 47,444. This is the number of websites we found devoted to Duke Nukem on the web. Wow, what an age. So Rayman 2. Rayman is coming back to consoles for the Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and Dreamcast next year after a long time away from the video screen. A true sequel to the original Jaguar, PlayStation, and Saturn game, Rayman 2 takes Ubi's mascot to the third dimension. This time around, Rayman must fight for freedom against a horde of evil space pirates who have enslaved his friends and are out to destroy him. There are a total of 30 levels in Rayman 2, which range from exploration to fast-paced action. Ubi told us they tried to make the most of this fast-paced, much like Indiana Jones. The result is a mix of having to run, jump, swim, and dodge. Yeah, I really wish. Rayman 2 uses a new version of the Tonic Trouble engine and looks promising even at this early stage. Ubi has not decided whether the game will utilize the 4 meg RAM expansion or the Rumble Pack. It did ended up using the RAM expansion. I personally back in the day I really couldn't tell a difference myself. So Goemon 2. That is not an appropriate name for this game. It's like the 6th or 7th game I think in the series. It did not get a widespread retail release, I don't think. But Tetris DX, I rented this once. And only once. Gex Enter the Gecko. Yeah, so one of our regulars in chat, the Mecha Kong, said that this game sucked. Smurf's Nightmare, never played it. Wario Land 2. I never played Wario Land 2. I played the first Wario Land and loved it, one of my favorite platformers of all time. And it's been like 25 years since I played the first Wario Land. So when I play it, it will be as fresh as can possibly be. Like if I were to search for the treasures, try to 100% that, I would be fully fresh on that, as close as could possibly be. Which is an exciting prospect. Alright, so we are halfway through the magazine at this point. So let's go to our midstream break. I'll be back, and now we gotta hush. We got a lot of music running at once, so how many? Hold on, I gotta. You gotta turn off the there's too much music playing. Hold on. There we go. You got some festive music going. I'll be back, and there we go. So Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. We'll get through the back half of this magazine and get back to Pokemon. Yeah, so here's the first Marvel versus Street Fighter game. And it's kind of interesting because, like, I guess the cultural status of Marvel was in a very, 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 very different place at this time than it was, like, to a certain... I've heard people argue that this game existing helped keep Marvel in the mainstream popular consciousness more so than elevated Street Fighter. but I'm not really, I wasn't following this, I'm not an expert in this. I just remember my local laundromat had a cabinet for Marvel vs. Street Fighter. I would have been more interested if it was a platformer of any sort. I never played this Beavis and Butthead game. I'm gonna assume that it sucks. Yeah, some racing wheels. Yeah, a Best Buy coupon for some race steering wheel controllers. Sponsored by Mario Andretti. Got some Christmas lemmings, apparently. Yeah, 3D Beavis and Butthead. I was going to mention that. The Beavis and Butthead games I remember seeing in ads were around this time were ones for the Game Boy. And when I think of like Beavis and Butthead, like you're looking at them when they're on the couch, you're looking from the point of view of their TV. I imagine there being like a bunch of pizza boxes and like empty soda cans all over the floor and like a Sega Genesis with a bunch of like game cartridges all over the floor. That's what I imagine. I think of Beavis and Butthead as being early 90s and of being like I feel like Beavis and Butthead would own a Genesis. I don't feel like they would be as into Super Nintendo. Yeah, Shadow Madness. This was, I think, an RPG about people's shadows coming to life and as monsters and killing them. We got Beat Mania Second Mix. I never played any of these Bimani games. Army Men 3D. I forgot that there were non-3D Army Men games. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Now, oddly enough, like I think there's a cartridge with the Legacy of Kain games on the Evercade. And Evercade is not a system I really thought of as being capable of playing PlayStation games, but apparently it is. So, oh, here we go. We've got an ad for, they have a full-page spread for Pokemon right here. Just to remind you of what the time frame is, which is suitable, because when we get to when we finish, yes. So when we finish this mag is, scrolling through here and commenting, we're going to get back to Pokemon. Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. I'm just going to assume that this game is like $1,000 now if you have it complete in box. Irritating Stick. This is a game that I was, hey there, Azure Est. Yeah, this is a game, I never played this game, but I remember hearing about it. I tried looking in the, and this is based on a Japanese game show. And I remember seeing this coverage of it and seeing ads for it. I never saw it in the toy store, and the toy store, the toy stores never had it. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, it's just they just yeah, I guess their label just paid for an ad. Yeah, I was kind of trying not. I knew once this would be very distracting because I'm like, yeah, I'm not like, why is this here? I was gonna comment on that separately, but yeah, you spotted it, Bill in chat. Yeah, I never got to actually play this game, but I did. It was fun watching Pete grind and practice this for GDQ. The new. Oh yeah, Vigilante 8. This game, I believe, was one of those forerunners. I think. Isn't this game? No, am I thinking of no Smuggler? I got this confused with Smuggler's Run because I have this sort of desert imagery and vehicles, but I believe this. Yeah, sorry, I got this confused with Smuggler's Run for a second. So Urban Chaos, Shaolin, Saga Frontier 2. My friend had Saga Frontier 1, and I had Saga on Game Boy. I didn't know it was Saga, I just knew it was Final Fantasy Legend. Yeah, I got some, yeah, we have some specific, Armored Angel. Yeah, it's like a mech game for the arcade? Okay. WCW NWO Revenge for N64. Yeah, N64 for some reason had a lot of these licensed wrestling games. Hydro, Thunder. Eggs of Steel. Yeah, this was like a Blockbuster exclusive, I think. Yeah, Eggs of Steel. Charlie's Excellent Adventure. No, yeah, so back in the day, I really never got into wrestling games. I would like, I had, like, through some family and friends, we attended some, like, local, like, in-person wrestling events, but I was never big into, like, if I was at a friend's house, you know, and it's, like, Friday or Saturday night, and we've got, like, you know, pizza, and they, you know, they turn on wrestling. It just, like, it is, as someone who, like, I'm not a fan of wrestling at all, but, like, there's a certain, like, vibe, mood that was, like, even at the time, I was like, this is, like, really touching in on this, like, I guess, an aesthetic, as the kids say these days. Not that I called it that, but I felt like there's something cool about this. There's something, I'm enjoying the atmosphere. So Hideo, look at Hideo Kojima looking basically the same as he does nowadays. Metal Gear Mastermind, Mucky Foot. I never heard of this guy. Oh, okay, this is. Oh, it's a studio. Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, when did Ken Kutaragi call himself Muckyfoot? And look at him holding the Net Yorose Ken Kutaragi proudly holding the Net Yorose PlayStation in his hands. Like this, like if you're not familiar with the Net Yorose, it was like a black PlayStation. It was available only through mail order. And it was specifically presented to the tinkerers market. It was presented to, you know, as for tinkerers and programmers to, I believe people, like amateurs using this system only had, they had very limited access to what the PlayStation was ultimately capable of. But the fact that a manufacturer specifically had a program to allow tinkerers and homebrewers to have access to their hardware and develop it, you know, without having to modify, reverse engineer, or hack anything in terms of the hardware. It was very forward thinking, and they continued that through the PlayStation 2, which had a sort of like mail order developers system version where you had limited access to what you could do with it, but the fact that they even made the platform available to the hobbyist community in that way at all was absolutely, like, incredible. But infrared link-ups. Look, Ma, no cables. Yeah, and as Jerez is saying, and that's progressive. I remember reading about the Net Yorose back in the late 90s. In the summertime, our house did not have air conditioning. So when it was really hot in the summer, me and my mom would go over to the public pool, get some French fries from the concession stand. It was, and I remember, like, when we're out of the pool and we were, stopped to eat, I'd have, like, my whatever latest game magazine. I remember reading about, the ways in which Sony was making the PlayStation platform available to the hobbyist and programmer community. So, Gex 3. I never played Gex 3. I played Gex 2. When this movies of games, when that Tomb Raider movie came out, I remember seeing that on 42nd Street with my mom. Yeah, so Tetsuya Nomura, we're waiting on their latest project being the so Ken Lobb, the Serial Games. Shining Force 3 was the first major game to show off how cool a multi-part RPG could be, even if parts 2 and 3 never did make it to the US. And Capcom's on deck with a 24-part serial game for the Dreamcast. So this is... Imagine an RPG along the... Okay. Look at this. Imagine an RPG along the lines of Zelda. I'm sick of getting into fights online with people who are like, oh, you idiots, I can't believe you're like, why no one called Zelda an RPG back in the 90s. You're rewriting history. No, there's so many examples of people of these 90s era magazines of people describing Zelda as an RPG. And like the fact that people, and then when I pull up you're cherry picking to make your point. Like, no, I'm not you said that this was not a thing. I found evidence of it. Of the thing I'm saying, and now finding evidence of the thing I'm saying isn't cherry picking. It's finding evidence of the thing I'm saying that you're saying that I'm full of crap about. But anyway, imagine an RPG along the lines of Zelda, but spread out into a dozen 10 to 15 hour chapters that release over the course of a year. Would that not rule? Yeah, well, we have that nowadays with episodic games, and a lot of people are kind of sick of it. I did not realize Oddworld Inhabitants started in 1994. Yeah, LucasArts, rest in peace. Squaresoft, bringing RPGs to the masses. Yeah, Expert Gamer is, Expert Gamer, formerly EGM2. EGM2 is basically like the tips and tricks player's guide centric spin-off of EGM. Miyamoto, It's a Madden World, Humor in Games, Interact, the Game Boy Color and Camera. These are just all just mentioning and talking about these different things. So, games for cool people. This will be interesting. So, video games are no longer a niche market for antisocial teens to play while locked in their rooms. More and more companies are capitalizing on gaming's appeal to casual gamers, developing games that appeal to a mass audience. Take Parappa the Rapper, for instance, which caught on not only with hardcore gamers, but also women and music fans. Yeah, I like just describing hardcore gamers and women as mutually exclusive is, just to sort of, can you tell this was written in the 90s? Meanwhile, 989's Buster Groove, Konami's Japanese hit Beat Mania, Tetris, Devil Dice, and cinematic games like FF7 and Metal Gear Solid are drawing more and more casual players into the fold as well. Yeah, so the Sega Dreamcast. Yeah, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. You know, when I was a kid, so look at this character right here. Yeah, so I always misinterpreted, okay? I thought that, like, these here were his eyes, and this was his chin, he's looking to the sky. But no, this is his face, and these are his eyes, and his face is covered by his, like, little shawl thing. And, yeah, I remember this Soul Reaver. Yeah, definitely one of those games kind of like Shakan, where, like, the character is just, like, the living embodiment of a dark metal album. Yu Suzuki, Yuji Naka. Yeah, PDAs. Our tiny dot matrix friends. Sure, none of the console PDAs are going to be called PDAs anymore, but we're still going to use these initials to describe the slick, pocket-sized portables being ready for the Dreamcast and PlayStation. Since the Dreamcast was developed with its tiny plug-in VMU system as part of the overall concept, we're sure to see numerous games that allow you to integrate gameplay elements that can be transported back and forth between the Dreamcast and Naomi arcade environments. Developers seem very receptive to the system. The majority of early DC games utilize the VMU in some way. Sony's Pocket PlayStation, formerly known as Sony PDA, is also catching on. There are already 31 titles in development. Yeah, unfortunately, oh yeah, there was a Godzilla Special Edition of VMU. But unfortunately, they never brought the Pocket Station to North America. Rewritable Media Save the world. Yeah, this never came out in America. It came out in mail order only in Japan. So yeah, not a rousing success. Yeah, so they have all kinds of game-related things just on this list. Characters, consoles, just vague concepts for hardware like the PDAs, Rumble technology, 64DD. A slick disaster. Now look, it's kind of funny because up here they mention rewritable games and as a hot new thing, using the N64DD as an example. But then just a couple of pages away, slick disasters. Sometimes the only thing that keeps a cool gadget from becoming a slick sensation is a little bad luck. We examine these spectacular failures. Yeah, so that, yeah, 64DD, Saturn failed, the Gamecom. And Pokemon. Oh, okay, here we go. Now we gotta check this out. It stomped Tamagotchi like a 500-foot Gila monster on steroids and continues to grow in popularity. Nintendo's Pokémon, that's a shortened version of Pocket Monsters, has spawned a hit TV show both in Japan and the US, with a multi-billion-dollar industry of toys, comics, and records in Japan, not to mention some of the craziest marketing and ad campaigns we've ever seen. While N64 sales are lean in Japan, Nintendo's bulking up on anything and anything Pokemon and living high off the fat of these cute little monsters. It's still too early to tell if Pokemon will be as big ahead in America as Japan, where it sold over 10 million copies, but it surpassed Nintendo's own expectations when it released here in September, selling 200,000 copies in the first 2 weeks of availability. The cartoon show supporting the title is a hit by itself. One day in October, it beat up the Today Show, CBS This Morning, and Good Morning America ratings in New York. The Pokemon phenomenon shows no sign of slowing either. In 1999, a Game Boy sequel, as well as another N64 title, are coming to Japan. If popular, these games will likely show up in the States too. It just goes to show, never underestimate a small yellow electric rat. Now, Bill in chat is saying crazy marketing campaigns. What did this magazine consider crazy, I wonder? Now, there's a story from, I believe it's Beth Llewellyn from Nintendo of America, about how, like, they had some kind of promotion where they brought a bunch of kids to a field and had them, like, parachute down, like, Pokemon merchandise and, like, put the kids at, like, a starting line and, like, you know, had a 3, 2, 1, go, and the kids had to run out and grab as much of the stuff as they could. Different weird things like that, I believe, is what they're talking about. Now, do-it-yourself cheats. Yeah, so cheating devices. Link, the last Boy Scout. Of all the game characters we've dubbed slicked in this feature, Nintendo's Link is the most squeaky clean. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't swear, he doesn't make crude remarks to chicks, he doesn't brandish assault weapons and fire off cheesy one-liners. Heck, in spite of appearing in 4 games, the guy's barely grown past puberty. The oldest we've seen Link is in the new Legend of Zelda, in which he time warps to 17-year-old near adulthood. And you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way. Link's boyish looks, goofy clothes, and golly gee attitude help bring out the kid in all gamers. Shigeru Miyamoto's Zelda games are so immersive that when we play them, we are Link. We are kid explorers in fantastic, dangerous world. We could put down our virtual guns and declare ceasefire on the typical alien monster type bad guys in most games and just be kids again. This is 98, and just a couple years later, when Wind Waker gets announced, they're going to be like, yeah, we're not kids anymore, Okay, alright. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. Alright. That's more like it. Yeah, switching tabs switching faces makes my, yeah, there's the coverage of the South Park game. Oh, wow, the characters all have their, like, South Park sonas in the game, as, like, yeah, South Park sonas. I just actually said this. Wow, a full episode guide to the first 2 seasons of South Park. How to cheat like a pro. Yeah, so we have an in-depth guide. Around this time, EGM like had this good how-to like series where they like show you different things like how to import games, how to, you know, modify your systems to play import games, which is like, oh, they would never get away with that nowadays. But you know, different cheating devices. Yeah, Game Champion. Cool Boys. Of course, they gotta plug in, you know, plug their side magazine, Expert Gamer. Links to different game cheat websites. Huh. 7 reasons why guys and girls dig Pokemon. Men are from Palette. Who's got the... Okay, let's check this out. I did not pre-screen this magazine. I did not know this was in here. Trading Pokemon is cool. Like collecting and trading sports cards, you can't complete a Pokemon collection without trading with a friend. Trading is serious business. You can't be a master without training. Once you got a Pokemon collection, you got to build them up by training and teaching them attacks. If you want to become the best, did Mike Tyson become the best overnight? No, training in the game is no different. Teaching your Pokemon new and different attacks can make them, you know, so defeating trainers earns badges, whether it's Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, or Indian Guides, or maybe just gold stars in 3rd grade. We like to be recognized for our achievements. I won't, yeah, so, why is this font right here is so distracting, like the jaggedy nature of them. And now like the whole thing is written. The world of Pokemon is fun and challenging, but it brings in some things from when we were young, like bug catching, into a game that can be played together. That's why us guys like playing it so much. Women are from Cerulean. Oh, okay, so they're going into like, okay, oh, I see. Men are from Palette, women are from Cerulean. I get it. I get it. Now, okay, so this is a play on a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which I never read, but I remember it being big in the 90s. And so we're going to, like, I guess, different reasons boys and girls both find this game appealing. And it did have very strong cross-gender appeal. And we got a bunch of reviews down here at the end. Extreme G2, Glover... Nightmare Creatures. Wow, Nightmare Creatures only gets a 5. Bugs Life gets a 4. I mean, it's a licensed kids game, but Azurest is saying, do you know about the episode of Simpsons made in 99 where Lisa becomes president after Donald Trump? Think it was 99? Yeah, it's just one of those, like, Simpsons predicted everything sort of, I mean, to be fair, like, he was, there was some, he was like playing around with running as a third party, and I think the 96 election, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, as a potential third party. So you have an Asteroids remake. Wow, that Apocalypse game only got a 5. Caesar's Palace 2. E for everyone. You know, a slot machine gambling game rated E for everyone. Yeah, what an age. What an age. What an age. Yeah, now just Pokemon having the Game Corner as a mini-game would get it potentially a T or M rating nowadays. And they have a whole gambling game with no actual online game. Yeah, Magical Knight Rayearth for the PlayStation. I'm going to assume that that's one of those games that's like $500, $600 now minimum. And we get, can you tell this was a magazine released in the holiday season? Yeah, some PlayStation memory cards. Shootout 99 NBA. And, yeah, so I never had any of these Namco Museum games, but these are definitely ones I rented. And it was the first time I got to play a lot of these old arcade games, because they weren't very common in the arcades at this point. There's a piece... Oh, I forgot there was a game based on The Fifth Element. Another Bruce Willis movie. Game Boy Wallet. It looks officially licensed. Harvest Moon GB, Game Boy Survival Guide. Oh yeah, look at this. Pokemon Trainer Survival Guide. Yeah, you could tell you just have this generic anime girl and this generic dragon, because they didn't, it's a third-party guide. They didn't have like the licensing to use the actual Pokemon designs in the art, but using screenshots for a piece of software and a guide on how to use that software is covered under fair use. Yeah, so here we've got the Gamecom Pocket Pro, a interchangeable cartridge game system by Tiger. I was actually genuinely interested in the original, like when the original Gamecom came out, I was genuinely interested in this thing. And fortunately, it's just one of those things where I was really drawn in by it, but fortunately I didn't have the money to get it, and I ended up not trying to ask my parents for it for Christmas or my birthday, so it all worked out. So we have the infamous Superman for Nintendo 64. The PlayStation version of this game, I don't think actually came out. I think the PlayStation game is just a port of this one, and this ended up not coming out. These were both by Tidus, and we have the whose mascot is a fox, and they actually made Tidus Jr., I guess, a spin-off specifically about the company's own mascot character. But yeah, but look at, if you look at these N64 games, Zelda Ocarina of Time, $60, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, $50, F-Zero X, $50, GoldenEye, these $40 Player's Choice games. But if you go up to PlayStation, these are brand new brand new PlayStation games, $44.99, $44.99, you know, Spyro the Dragon, $39.99. You know, so you can see, oh, okay, we do have, yeah, the Namco Museum games, Soul Blade, only $20 each. And then when you get to N64, all of the games start $45, $50, and into the $60s. So the PlayStation was able to offer their games for a lot less money because they used discs and not cartridges. So they're able to save on all those manufacturing costs. The Pocket Pikachu, I actually, this here, I finally got this for myself a few months ago. Actually, yeah, yes, it was. It was $64.99 for Superman 64, and $44.99 for the PlayStation version, which ended up not being released. Yeah. And Pokemon Red and Blue for $30 apiece. I did not have a, you know, because it says Pocket Pikachu and not Pokemon Pikachu, you could tell it's the Japanese version. I actually ended up getting the Japanese version last spring. I got the Japanese version that says Pocket Pikachu. Yeah, so here we got Pokemon Red and Blue. And this is a bunch of ads for Electronics Boutique. Got a bunch of tricks and codes in the back. What is this? Okay, so you get some cool stuff you could probably live without but shouldn't. Let's see. These Ocarina of Time figures from Benusin, Deutsch & Associates are available individually and a set of 3. I believe there was there was some N64 Nintendo published figure series where like some of the figures were shown in catalogs but were never actually found in stores, and they're sort of lost media. But music to my ears. Want to be a musician? Then consider the powerful QY70 music sequencer from Yamaha as a start. It uses Yamaha's XG MIDI industry standard format and works with any MIDI device like a computer. The built-in LCD display and MIDI keyboard makes programming a cinch. Price around $600 for that. Yeah, you could probably do everything that thing can with a smartphone app, but the smartphone app probably nickels and dimes you and is terrible. Yeah, so a rechargeable battery a tape player here. Look at this, okay? The 56K multi-modem DSVD from Multitech Systems allows you to simultaneously send data and voice over most phone lines, as long as the other party also has a DSVD compatible modem. Yeah, the fact that they're 56K external modems. Yeah, it's kind of ironic how, like, there was a point where having an internal modem was kind of a mark of distinction, and then, like, modems went back to being external again. Get this guy some Zelda quick. Rather than hit on any one particular... So Zelda's finally arrived. As I write this, Sunday, November 8th, and Zelda 64 is but a few short weeks away. We're expecting our copy to be in our office copy in a day or two. Needless to say, I can't wait. All I can think about is Zelda. I've been a diehard of the series since the original release in '87, and since then, every release has been like a major holiday for me. Since the last Zelda game, Link's Awakening, I've spent time building up my Zelda collection. I now own every version of every game in the series, Japanese and American, disc and cartridge, waiting patiently for a new Zelda to arrive. Can you believe it's been 11 years since we experienced the first Zelda? What, like, even... Like, so... Hold on. Let me do a little, okay. 7 plus... Yeah, hold on. 198.7 plus 11... No. Okay. So, okay, so this is in 1998 that they're writing this, and they're saying, can you believe it's been 11 years since we first experienced Zelda in 1987? That would be the equivalent of me talking about a game in 2025 as I'm recording this. It would be the equivalent of talking about a game from 2014. Can you imagine, like, thinking about Super Mario 3D World, which came out in 2013, as a retro game? You'd get laughed out of... If I streamed Super Mario 3D World under retro, it would be treated as the biggest joke ever. But already they're talking about the original Legend of Zelda as a retro game 11 years later. Now, you could say that the nature of video games changed a lot more between 1987 and 1998 as compared to between 2014 and 2025. Alright. So, yeah, so he's just talking about, yeah, and Dreaming of Dreamcast. And we got some back issues here, I believe. Now, I would say order back issues of EGM. I think around this time period, the first EGM that I really started... Like, the first of these covers I recognize is this one right here. October 1998 is where I really started... From, like, 94, 95 up until here, I really stopped reading it. I remember this issue. I definitely remember this issue, where you have Zelda 64 and Parasite Eve lead the RPG revolution. Once again, this notion that people did not that no one in the that Zelda was never considered an RPG. It's an absolute farce. And I remember this November 98 issue with Sonic Adventure on the cover. And we've got these ads in the back for you know, where you could import games and action figures. And you know, equipment like the Dex drive. Now, yep, so there is our magazine section. And what are we going to do next? I'm gonna play some Pokemon. I just got to grab my... Where's my... Yeah, so in this... So this... I'll tell you what, Bill and chat. I would say for sure that the back half... The second half of this magazine, the stuff after the break, had actually most of the good content. Usually most of the good stuff is in the front. This time it was actually the back, so you really didn't miss much. Yeah, but we'll play for another hour. Hold on. Yeah, we'll play for around about an hour and I'll call it a stream. Oh, if I accidentally turn off the microphone, you need to just tell me. Because was the entire time since I started playing Pokemon, I actually had my mic off? Yeah, when I reached my cartridge, the analog pocket was sitting beside the microphone, so I accidentally pressed the button on the microphone. Yeah, that's what happened. Alright, so let's see if we can pull this off. Yeah, if you, when I eat, I've seen what it looks like when I eat. What the motion capture does, it freaks out. It looks like Lunarian H is having a seizure. It really looks like it's like I can't even simulate how ridiculous it looks. Yeah, if I was eating on stream, you'd definitely be able to tell, because you'd see my mouth going up to my and as nothing happens, because I'm like, oh, I'm just eating with my invisible fork, Okay. So now... Okay, please continue to sleep. We're going to... hopefully... Actually, that's kind of... Yeah, it's only chipping away at their HP, but in terms of actually being able to... Oh my goodness. Yeah, in terms of being able to damage them while being able to reliably not knock them out. Because we were going to try to catch this haunter. We're going to attack one more time. And... yeah, this should do it. Come on, come on, come on. Alright. And now... I think we have 2 great balls. We have 2. Which were called Super Ball in Japan, but, you know, there are copyright problems, or trademark problems with that. Okay, we caught him. Gas. Because of its ability to slip through block walls, it is said to be from another dimension. Nickname to Hunter known. Yeah, through block walls. Not brick walls, but block walls. Huh. Okay. Hoo, beat me not. Okay. We won't beat you, we'll just settle for defeating you then. Chandler sent out Ghastly. And, you know, I really like the way Ghastly is represented in this sprite. And that's not how it would be depicted in the artwork and in the anime, because this would be kind of a very difficult and potentially expensive, in terms of work hours, thing to animate in the manner in which it's shown here. Because, as I understand it, the creative process for these creatures was that they created the sprites and then then Kun Sugimori did the watercolor art after the fact based on the sprites. So having this sort of gaseous, amorphous face, it's a really cool look, actually, but it's not something that was really maintained going forward in the franchise. Alright, fine. This ain't working out. I'm gonna have Charmeleon finish this. Doggone, of course we get confused first thing. Alright, and just a reminder to everybody, my follow alerts, if you are standing by in the Silent Squad, your follow alerts are completely anonymous. So there'll be an alert, but we won't see who you are. And I don't actually look at my my list of people that are like watching. Like if you just want to chill anonymously, you could do so. Cloud the Boy saying, that strange Christmas music you were playing during your break reminded me of the God Gorgeous Christmas tree and where the advanced controller made its debut. Yeah, that was a couple of years ago already. Yeah, that's my tradition. That's the music I like to use for my Christmas streams. Yeah, that's a Chinese PSA. Oh, and that reminds me, there's something I do need to take care of. I need to switch from that to oh wait, no, I need to go to my break screen, I think, and turn on, where is, it's got to be in here. There we go. That's for later. Okay, now we're good. Yeah, it's been a couple, if for anyone's unfamiliar, command exclamation point lore gives a link to my playlist on YouTube. I'm out of character, such as it were, right now, but the stream does have lore that when it's been like almost a year and a half since I've developed it, since I've had any new episodes, because it's a fully scripted thing. It's very complex and time consuming, and I wanted to focus on the games themselves for now. If I was doing this same stream, it would have taken me like 10 or 15 hours of prep work to actually have an episode that progresses the lore. But it involves parallel universes, Human H, which is just me in front of a webcam. Alright, we're just going to... Actually, no, I didn't mean to do that, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll send out Gyarados. I don't want to use my healing items right here, because I'm very close to a healing... But, remember I have an image of Moose Age with Christmas lights for my antlers. Yeah, I don't know, like, when I was, like, before I introduced Lunarian H as an on-screen, like, animated presence, you know, through the VTuber avatar, I feel like I was a little more willing to switch between, like, when Lunarian H was strictly just kind of a mascot for the stream. I do feel like, you know, switching between, oh, he's a moose this time, oh, he's a Lunarian, like, typical, or something. I feel like it was more... why am I using... I'm using Bite like I'm in Gen 2, and it's a Dark-type move, and it's not. It is a normal-type move, and we need to use Dragon Rage. And I'm like, why isn't Bite hitting? It's an elemental move. I'm like, no, it's a normal-type move in Gen 1. Silly me. Because now, like... There's, you know, Lunarian H, there's Human H, there's Griffin H, and they all are actual separate characters, you know, in the universe. So, hold on. May the departed souls of Pokemon rest in peace. What a thoughtful sentiment. And H found HP up. Yeah, I don't think I've saved since I caught that Haunter, so let me quit this, get out of this battle, and go ahead and save. There we go. Now saving. H saved the game. I must have been dreaming. Oh, we've already beaten all the trainers on this level. Okay, we got... yeah, let's just go ahead and knock him out. Get some HP out of the deal. Enemy Cubone used Bone Club. It's super effective. And... yeah, someday, like, when I have, like, go to heck money, maybe I'll get an avatar of Moose H, you know, with the Christmas light antlers, specifically for, my Xmas streams. For God Gorgeous Merry Christmas. Yeah. Alright. And... yeah, we're almost... yeah, let's go ahead and heal up. Yeah, these Ghastlies are kind of becoming like supernatural Zubats. And we made it. Entered Purified Protected Zone. Aegis Pokemon are fully healed. And we'll go ahead and save. Save, save, save. We love save. Yeah, there's this art videotape my art teacher put on in the 90s. And he would shade, and he's going back and forth with his pencil, and he'd go, shave, shave, shave. We love to shave. And Bill in chat with intriguing headcanon is saying Ghastly is just the spirit of all the Zubats that I destroyed in Mount Moon. It would certainly explain the sheer abundance of them. Now, okay. Yeah, well, I think this is the last floor. You shall join us. Okay. Try to do my creepy possessed Chandler voice. Chandler wants to fight. Only one Pokemon, so... when there's only one, I expected them to be, use Poison Sting. Okay, not very effective. Yeah, I do not have my... yeah, fire versus grass, or like water, fire versus water, or vice versa. Like, those are easy. I don't remember, like, okay, so poison is not very effective against ghosts. There's, like, not a super obvious, you know, like, I guess mnemonic for what is effective against what, and those sorts of ones. Even later on, when you have, like, Steel being super effective against Fairy, it's like, you know, oh, there's a historical element in Western folklore of iron being able to... iron cages being able to imprison fairies. So, like Steel type versus Fairy type. Two types that are not in this game. Fairy type isn't until like 2013. And Steel type wouldn't come until the sequel to this game in like 99 or 2000. But we're gonna go ahead and broke out of the confusion nice and quickly. Critical hit. And fortunately did not get, I think paralysis is what Lick can cause. Doggone, of course we're gonna get. We're very close to Doggone actually took the damage. This might not, I don't think this will knock us out. Or, yeah, I spoke too soon on that. Well, bad news, Pikachu got knocked out. Good news, Gyarados is going to get some free experience right here. Enemy Ghastly fainted. H defeated Chandler. What a nightmare! I was possessed. I would certainly hope so. I was possessed. Okay, nothing new to say. Huh. I did not know you can get an encounter in the healing zone. I've never seen that happen before. Yeah, and it gives us and it registers the heal after the battle. I did not know that could happen. That never happened before. I can cross that. You can cross that never happened before off your streamer bingo card if anyone's keeping track. Now, run. Okay. Give. Let's not. That's a little creepy. Even for this place. Wow, a Haunter, not a Ghastly. This person must mean business. Yeah, we're gonna want to switch over to... yeah, let's have Pikachu finish this. And no paralysis inflicted. Good. Not actually. Yeah, let's use Flash. Became confused. We'll use Thunder Wave. Come on, come on. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Okay. Now they're paralyzed. They're fully paralyzed, and Flash does, I think, a lot more. It takes their accuracy down way more than Sand Attack. So we'll use, and we're not confused anymore. So now this might take a few turns, but. Flash. We drop their accuracy even more. They're fully paralyzed and their accuracy is way down, so I'm not too concerned about. And they used their attack. They broke through the paralysis, but their attack just happened not to work. Come on. Nice, we got it. Okay. Gasp. I was under possession. Well, now you're over. Hey! Now you're over possession. I was under possession. Now you're over possession. Nice. Okay. Yeah, we fought everyone on this side. Okay. Okay, zombies. Yeah, complete sentences would be nice, but yeah, just zombies. Chandler's want to fight. Lots of people with a single Ghastly or Haunter in this level. Yeah, if I wanted to skip trainers and not get the EXP, I could have finished this whole dungeon by now. Poison Sting. Come on. I know it wouldn't deal much damage, but I was hoping it would poison them. Oh wait, aren't they? No, they're aren't these guys like gas and poison or something weird like that? Or are they just ghost and poison? Whatever. We're switching. We'll use someone else. No. Okay. We'll live with it. Not the end of the world. No. Okay. Yeah, well, using Confuse right when they're already confused. That's the kind of things that the better the higher tier enemy behaviors like the pool trainers and the gym leaders don't do, as far as I understand. Oh, we're down to like a quarter health. I think we could beat him. We could beat him. We got it. We got this. With performance between 32 and 64 bits. Okay. H defeated Chandler. Huh? I regained my senses. And Bill Press is saying, yeah, it's Ghost Poison, funnily enough, even though there are 15 types in the game, there are only 33 type combinations for the 151 Pokemon. Yeah, I'm glad I remembered that. I'm like, yeah, it's the fact that they have the Ghastly line, which is the only Ghost Pokemon, and then you have the Dratini line, which is the only true Dragon Pokemon in this game. It's kind of wild. Hey, H-Pound Nugget. And Nidorino. Okay. We have... How close are we to... I want anyone other than Beedrill to get to level 29. It's like... Oh, you'll fight this trainer. It's kind of ridiculous that, well, actually, yeah, I guess, during my midstream break, I did manually trigger an ad to run, but I guess things are such that, they're running more ads than they used to. Can you believe this is only like, hold on, I can check right now. Let's check. It's the 13th stream. This is only the 13th stream I've done this year. Of all since 2020, this is the year I've done the fewest streams, and certainly the fewest... there are times when I stopped streaming because I did not have a suitable PC at the time. But this is the first time I've, because I was working on the barrier aggression project, which, hold on. Yeah, so me from the future is sending a link to barrier aggression for anyone who's unfamiliar with what I'm talking about. But yeah, actually no, we're just going to just go straight over to... yeah, we might as well. Uh-oh, Calacaboy. Wowie yeah, thank you for redeeming the Game Boy Night. Oh, well... Okay, cool. We lived it. We lived it. Okay. For 10 minutes. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so enjoy the, for anyone who is not familiar with, hold on. there's an explanation for the Game Boy Knight in the I'm out of character, you know, but that's the explanation for this model of Game Boy that exists in the timeline that Lunarian H lives on. We will... No, we don't want to... Well, here's the thing. I keep going for a bite because my instinct... this is the only generation in which bite is treated as is not a dark type move. So I keep going for it and using it against Haunter. I'm like, oh wow, that's funny. Why didn't it do anything? And I have to manually remind myself, no, it is not. It is not dark type in this game. Woo! Yeah, let's heal up. Entered Purified Protected Zone. H's Pokemon are fully healed. Yeah, I think what we'll do is... Oh, we saved already, but we'll go on to the... Yeah, we'll finish this, we'll finish Pokemon Tower. We'll head south down that like oceanside, like boardwalk route. But I don't think we'll actually go into Fuchsia City yet. Alright, so now we're at the next level. Yeah, of course I have to save the game again. Of course I have to save the game again. But, alright. Give me blood? Jeez. That might even be more creepier than give me your soul, because that's like metaphysical. Give me blood, that's like flat out like, this person wants to kill this kid. Alright. Now, as we've been doing, we're just gonna switch straight over to yeah, we don't have many damage dealing options with that are gonna be effective with our Nidorino, so that's a normal type move. I mean, the only move we have Growl, which will drop their defense. Oh no, excuse me, that drops attack, not defense. Sorry, I had a little itch on my neck. So if we go to... Come on. No! Hurt himself. Okay, we're... Doggone. Why? See, you could tell this is... Please do not knock him out. Okay, might as well. Yeah, we didn't bring these for nothing. Yeah, at least when we get to the Team Rocket Grunts, we'll have some more variety. How could they just make a single... The fact that there's only one... There's only one Ghost-type line, so it's just so boring fighting all these Ghastlies and Haunters. When we get to the Team Rocket Grunts at the top of the tower, at least we'll have a little bit of variety, hopefully. Remember there being 4 or 5 you have to fight in succession? And... critical hit. Chandler's about to use Ghastly. Change Pokemon. No. And... yeah, and Bill in chat rightfully observing a little bit of variety, meaning more Rattatas and Zubats and maybe coughing. Yeah, it's about right. Hey! Nice. That's done with. And yay! He's leveled up. Cool. Yes, we will use... Can you use anything. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt fighting these guys again and again, but yeah. And nearly one-hit KO. Confuse Ray. Yeah, we don't. There's no healing. We don't start getting healing items. I think the bitter berry cures confusion. But we won't see that until Gen 2. Yeah, we have nothing else that deals damage, so we're just gonna have to go ahead and use Dragon Rage again. If we did not have that healing point in the floor directly beneath this one, it would be a little more daunting. Be a little more cautious about using all our PP. I feel anemic and weak. X accuracy. Oh, please, stop attacking us every few feet. That's so annoying. Okay. Alright, only a few feet to go. Come on. Yeah. We healed up. There we go. Would you like to save the game? Yes. The more you save, the more it means saving the game more means you love your Pokemon more. I'm trying to just turn around in that spot. It's a very particular button press. Part of the reason I'm catching all these Pokemon is so that we can get things like the experience share and the item finder. And to find invisible items, and so that we can level up our team more evenly, not evilly. Key. Okay. I don't know why they say key is creepy possession noises, but sure. Oh, I can't believe they only have a single Ghastly as their team. Yeah, these Ghastlies aren't doing a very good job of protecting you in this scenario. You might want to reconsider your partners. Let's go to. Yeah, let's send out Pikachu. Yeah, I never remember being, it's probably because maybe I was playing it in shorter bursts, because I typically back in the day wouldn't play more than an hour at a time. But I never remember being so incredibly bored by the Pokemon battles in this tower. There's nothing but Ghastlies. Actual yawn. Nothing but Ghastlies and an occasional Haunter. Yeah, I know. We're cross-paralyzed. And come on. Yeah! Woo! I'm very happy that that went the way it did. There we go. I'm not happy about that, but I'll take it over fainting for sure. So, when we attack, we're crossing our fingers for not being fully paralyzed on this turn, and for Pikachu not hurting himself. Pikachu is confused. Ah, he hurt himself. Doggone. Ghastly used the lick. Doggone. Just once. Come on. Ah! I've never had that bad of a luck with, well, good news is whoever goes up next is definitely getting all the EXP for this. Because I'm not going to use a revive at this point. And yes, they fainted. Yay! You're level 29. I don't have to worry about Okay, so we'll put Nidorino. So really... Alright. Yeah, so only Jigglypuff and Gyarados and Pikachu. So half my team. Alright, thanks for redeeming Game Boy Night, but it's time for Game Boy Regular. We will save, we'll go downstairs, heal up, and continue on with the battles. I think the floor we just came down from is the final floor before we rescue Mr. Fuji, which is the point of this scenario. There you go. Huh. I'm just checking mine. Alright, the connection's good. I'm being paranoid. Alright. Now back upstairs. There we go. Sorry, I was checking my broadcast software and I left the mouse in front of my my window. It was just annoying me out the corner of my eye. And I almost tried to like take my hand and like flick it away, and I'm like, hey, that's not gonna work. Sort of like when you're wearing like a bike, like a motorcycle helmet. You try to wipe sweat away, and it's like, nope, I just wiped off, I just smeared the helmet. Qua. Okay. Chandler wants to fight. Chandler sent out Ghastly. And put you to... Okay. You confuse me, but I'm gonna put you to sleep. There we go. I mean, of course, the sprite's eyes are still wide open, but, you know, this is that... You know, like, Ghastly's eyes being wide open when it's supposed to be asleep is the kind of failure of the game to communicate what I'm supposed to trust is taking place within the game world. That's acceptable because this is a game, this is a 25-ish year old game on a system that is like nearly 40 years old. So limitations like that are reasonable. But there's stuff that's tantamount to that in even the most modern games. And when people say, well, when I personally say that Pokemon games have bad graphics, it's stuff like that that I'm talking about. But this is at a point where, you know, oh, it's reasonable because we understand that this is on a system with limited capability to depict these kind of things. But Charmeleon, yeah. I have Gyarados take care of this. It's late in the day for me, can you tell? I'm not bored, I'm just yawning a lot because it is very late in the day for me. And we will not use Bite because that's a normal type move in Gen 1. Almost one hit KO. H defeated Chandler. Something fell out. And that's a line that always confused me and left me kind of baffled, and I forgot it was in the game till just now. Hair didn't fall out. It was an evil spirit. Okay, sure. That's one of those things that I'm sure made more sense in Japan. And like in the Japanese language and in the context of Japanese like understandings of like the paranormal. But one thing I do want to do, let's see. If we go to... Alright, no, everything's laid out the way I want. Oh wow, rare candy. Yeah, we're gonna hang on to these and maybe use them to bump up our Lapras and our Dratini when we get those. I'm gonna be honest, Lapras and Dratini are probably going to replace Jigglypuff and one other Pokemon. Yeah, I'm gonna... Why did I do that? I did not mean to do that. I meant to use... Yeah, this one is to run. I believe this next floor is where we're going to start seeing... Okay, got away safely. Oh, okay. It's this. I forgot about this part. Alright. Be gone, intruders. Ghost appeared. Sylph Scope unveiled the ghost's identity. Wild Marowak appeared. So look what happens when you throw a Pokeball in this one instance. This is a special battle. Wait, do I have any Pokeballs left? Okay, Pokeball. It dodged the thrown ball. This Pokemon can't be caught. Yeah, this is the only time when a non-trainer Pokemon reacts that way. Like a Pokemon that isn't owned by a trainer. This is a special... Alright. Marowak fell asleep, and... Yeah, this is a ghost. This was a ghost, but it's not a ghost-type Pokemon. It's a ghost because it's the ghost of a Pokemon that was killed by Team Rocket. Sad. Okay. Yes, we don't have to worry about, you know, oh, it's a ghost. It's not. It is a ghost, but it is not a ghost-type Pokemon. Now, Bill Preston, I could tell just from the first few words what they're referencing, but Bill Preston is mentioning that, yeah, if you bring a Pokédoll instead of the Sylph Scope and use it the Pokédoll to run away, you won't be pushed back one tile, like, yeah, it counts it as having defeated it. It's not a malfunction of the game. It's an oversight in the developers not accounting for the unique scenario they wanted to have scripted out for this one battle. I know there was debate in the speedrun community as to whether or not this counted as the Pokédoll thing counted as a glitch. Yay. Okay. The ghost was the restless soul of Cubone's mother. The mother's soul was calmed. It departed to the afterlife. Aww. Let's save. I forgot. I genuinely forgot that encounter happened at that point. We've got some Team Rocket operators up here. We'll take them out. And free Mr. Fuji is being held hostage. What do you want? Why are you here? How are you even able to be here? when you don't have a Silph Scope? Why aren't your Pokemon, like, frozen solid with fear? And, do I want to... Yeah, let's... You know, doggone, you know, this is great. We have finally some new Pokemon, some different Pokemon to fight. They're dealing with the same nonsense. You know, I don't feel like this after all this. Yeah, of course they're gonna use Leech Light. Alright. Now. Yeah, critical hit. I'm only 3 levels higher than that Zubat, so I was kind of surprised I got the one-hit KO there. Gotta use Zubat. No, we'll let Pikachu steamroll through this. If you're such a hack that you have 3 freaking Zubats, then I'll be such a hack that I steamroll you using one Pokemon that I happen to have a type advantage against you. And it doesn't really show in this sprite, but I actually think Zubat's cute little eyeless face is well, I mean, Zubat's little eyeless face is kind of cute. And no. Okay, right at the end. Golbat can be cool too. This sprite makes it look very creepy, but it's a very cool sprite. I like the sprite, and it makes me like Golbat. But their other art of Golbat makes it look cute, and plus he has tiny little eyes like the red guy who's definitely not Satan in Cow and Chicken. Yeah, we made it through. Nice. Okay. I give up. I'm not going to forget this. I just shows him just like pout off screen. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't heal from. You have to go from. You have to heal from your items. There we go. Go ahead and save and fight the next guy. This old guy came and complained about us harming useless Pokemon. We're talking it over as adults. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk. I'll talk to you about harming Pokemon. All right. Yeah, let's. Yeah. Oh, really? That fast? They just by sheer chance happen to overcome being disabled the following turn. Okay. Really? Come on. There, finally. Yeah. No, Bill in chat, absolutely brutal, saying, Rocket grunts are the authority on useless Pokemon after all. And Clackaboy saying, is this my longest stream of 2025? Possibly. Well, I mean, my last stream was 4 hours. My last stream was 4 hours. I'm gonna take, but yeah, this one's gonna, be about 4 hours again. Now, yeah, we'll use this opportunity. Yeah, sometime just before, once we have, even if it goes past 9, it's not like I've got an appointment or something, but I would like to complete the Pokemon Towers dungeon tonight. And we're there anyway. These 4 rocket grunts, I think they're 4 in total, are the boss of the tower, aside from Marowak. Jigglypuff grew to level 29, finally. Okay. Trying to learn Rest. Learning for moves. I rarely use Disable, so... Yeah, putting the enemy to sleep and then using that opportunity to rest. Especially since we're about to get the Poke Flute, which you'll see. Okay, yeah, actually what I want to have happen is I'm going to... They disabled rest. Already no longer disabled. Okay. Wow, they actually used Hypnosis to put my Pokemon to sleep. That's not something that happens. You might as well. Yeah, they have some Drowsies. I was thinking so much about Rattata and Zubat that, oh yeah, they do have Drowsies sometimes. We're gonna use one of the last Awakenings we'll ever use in this game, because we're about to get an item that's gonna make that obsolete. We got that Awakening for free anyway, so strategically, I don't mind if Jigglypuff gets knocked out. I'm actually intending for that to happen. Now, I'll have Gyarados finish this. Okay. Nice. Okay. Just see, that's why I wanted Jigglypuff to get knocked out. Please, no more. Got 780 for winning. Pokemon are only good for making money. Stay out of our business. Goes pouting away. You stupid kid beating me just these Pokemon. Alright, actually... Actually, yeah, we're going to... And it doesn't matter, they're all level 29. We're just going to, forge ahead. I have no particular concerns about any specific Pokemon. You're not saving anyone, kid. Wow, he's got 4 Pokemon. Go Gyarados. There's no more PP left to save, so I'm not even concerned about doing well in terms of that. And knockout. Raka's about to use Rattata. No, we will not change Pokemon. I know it's overkill, but it's like, why not? Okay. already out of PPP, I believe. It only has a few PP, so... Wow. Don't fight us, Rockets. You're not getting away with this. Huh? You came to save me? Thank you, but I came here of my own free will. I came to calm the soul of Cubone's mother. I think Marowak's spirit has gone to the afterlife. I must thank you for your kind concern. Follow me to my home Pokémon house at the foot of this tower. Mr. Fuji had been praying alone for Cubone's mother. Aww. It's so warm. Pokemon are so nice to hug. Aww. Mr. Fuji says, H, your Pokedex quest may fail without love for your Pokemon. I think this may help your quest. H received a Pokeflute. I don't think I ever... That was a unique chime. I don't think you ever hear that chime again. Upon hearing the Pokeflute, sleeping Pokemon will spring awake. It works on all sleeping Pokemon. Alright. So we're gonna go ahead. So that's the whole, like, plot-wise, the whole going to Celadon City, going to the Team Rocket base to get the Soul Scope, coming back, using the Soul Scope to climb Pokemon Tower and freeing Mr. Fuji, all of that was for practical purposes just to get the Pokeflute, which is the only thing that could sleep that can awaken the two sleeping Snorlax that are in that are strategically blocking certain choke points of the map. But with that seems like as good as best possible place to call it. We'll be back on a week from today, on Saturday the 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our Christmas special, which we're gonna run some Christmassy stuff that I can run on Twitch without having copyright problems. So it'll be a great time. Yeah, thanks for everyone who showed up for my stream today. Whether you were active in chat or standing guard in the Silent Squad, your presence on my stream is deeply and sincerely appreciated. And the week after, so a fortnight from tonight, I'll be doing my New Year's stream, my final stream of the year. And when I do that, I'll be running a non-retro current gen system that's still having games developed and released for it that is rarely, as far as I can tell, there's no preserved coverage of it on Twitch right now. So I'm very excited about that. I am being ambiguous about which system this is, but I'm not saying it's definitely not mobile. I'm not gonna like, oh, I plugged in my smartphone, we're gonna treat that as a platform. But I will see you all next time, and thank you for watching.